What's going on, everybody? We're back at it again. Back at it again. We got to talk about Umar. There's been some developments that I definitely need to um, talk about, and it's been a minute since I've been able to do a Umar video, but we at it. We're at it. So as you guys come in, make sure you hit that like button. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Yes, we're doing a late live. I really wanted to start all of this earlier, but I was just exhausted, passed out, went to sleep for many hours, and I just needed the rest. So we are at it. Shout out to all of you all. Thank you to all my mods, supporters, members, everyone. I appreciate you guys and your support. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. And so we're gonna get on this. I have a couple of videos that I want to show from. Shout out to Lenae Honor. Um, YouTube channel. He's definitely done his due diligence. He's almost at 90,000 supporters. So two of the videos we play are going to be from him in his channel. He had Lenae Stacks on as a guest talking about some litigation going on between her and Umar. And I want to go over that because, yeah, I've been heavy hitting on the Candace, and I just, we can't forget about Umar because if anyone needs to definitely be in court, it should be him. Sending out your Uguni goons to cyber stalk and bully and dox people, Umar. That's a cyber crime. It's a crime. So you want to definitely check out what's happening here. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to Lenae Stacks. Showing everybody how it's done. You don't have to let Umar here and bully and harass you or his Oguni goons. And they don't care. If they end up getting hemmed up, he's not gonna bail any of them out. You can't make this up. What's going on, y'all? I appreciate y'all for coming in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Sarah. Shout out to my mods. How you doing? Hope all is well. Happy Thanksgiving. I haven't seen you in a minute. I know it's been a while since we got in that Umar video, but we're here. We're here. we're gonna get into this information. I had some emails that went to my spam folder. I can't believe it. But shout out to Dr. Is it Nene? I think it's Nene. Oh my god, y'all. I gotta show this video she created. And I'm based on the name, I'm gonna say it's a she, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Umar is a scammer. Okay. And then he thinks he's above the rule of law. Okay. The real rebel. What's going on? Umar's a scammer. Yep. I refuse to call him doctor. Now just, Umar, you're not licensed or certified, so I don't really care how you feel about that. He's a clown. If you guys see the thumbnail, that was a actual photo from the video from Lyndon Honors video he did about this, where he was actually in court. So we put Oompa Loompa in the thumbnail, and I tried to cover up the other faces that were sitting next to him with the actual title, but Umar was sitting in a real court. Real court. So it's very possible to be able to find him and serve him. If he truly feels like he's innocent or something, he can always go to court, but he doesn't do that. So I had to use it as a thumbnail because it seems like a rarity. What's going on, Jesus? Come now. How you doing? He needs to be in jail, not just court. Exactly. He stalks people. He put people's lives in danger. He doesn't even care about his own daughter, who's been, who's had some mental health issues to come about on social media. Instead of him helping her, she's made the allegation that she believes her father is sending people after her to kill her. Like it's just disgusting. And he has not made any attempt to reach out to her, to actually see her in person, do a video call, a video chat, see how she's doing. None of that. That makes you look suspicious, Umar. That's quite an allegation for someone to make, especially against their own parent. And with you not responding and not doing a damn thing to try to smooth things over with your own daughter, I mean, it makes you look heavily suspicious. So, that goes to show how much he cares. So it's always awesome to see people fighting back through the court of law and holding him accountable. That's exactly what more people should do. What's going on, Mira? Hello again. Adding a bit of strength for you in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, you all. What's going on, CC? Hey, y'all, sweetie pies coming in the chat. Thank you all so much. Make sure you guys hit the like button coming in. So let's keep this video up in the algorithm. Shout out to Lynn and Honor. This is something that people just need to hear, and hopefully will inspire others. You know, don't be afraid to take legal action if you need to. That's why we have our judicial branch of government to seek legal recourse, especially in civil matters where dealing with someone like a Umar, you're not going to be able to resolve anything with him directly. You got to take his ass to court. Umar putting out hits on people with Oguni goons out here on the internet. Child, please. And then they get named in a lawsuit, like that Poetic Flacco person. They don't want to get mad about it and dox everybody. No, you you're being alleged of doing something. And he even went and said he would essay some woman because Umar didn't like what she was saying about him. Another grown man talking about he's going to essay a female because she said something bad about Umar. And it's not even bad. Everybody's entitled to opinion. He's a scammer. Based on my research and the evidence and information that's been presented, and those pyramid packages on his damn website, and the fact that he won't disclose anything he's doing with money, yeah, that's scamish activity. Can't make this up. All right, y'all. Everybody speak to everybody. Thank y'all so much. That Oompa Loompa. Yep. Francisca, welcome back. Welcome in. Shout out to my moms and spouse. I appreciate you all. Shares up in here. Make sure y'all hitting that like button coming in. I'm gonna start this off with a video that was sent to me from Dr. Nini. This was so funny. And I just, oh man, I hate that this email went to, I had a few emails go to my spam folder, and I'm like, why? Yahoo sucks. Because some of the people that sent me emails that went to my spam folder have emailed me previously, and it went straight to my inbox. So I apologize for, and I did try to respond and catch up. That's why it took me a minute to come back with another live, because I was trying to pull the more valuable emails out of spam. So if you've emailed me and it's been a minute, meaning like a month or something like that, and I didn't respond, please just re-forward it to me, because it could have been in my spam folder, and I'm not trying to miss, emails, especially when someone is taking time to do some videos like this. This is too funny. This is just too funny. Y'all, look at the school bus. Oh my goodness. This is a video. It's a quick video I'm going to share with you all that was sent to me. Shout out to Dr. Nene. Oh my goodness. I saw this and I hollered laughing. You can't even make this out. Hold on. What? I like to ask for Jay Witt. I got attacked in April Chapman premiere earlier for calling Jason Goodluck complaint pastor Amanchuku's sermon. What the heck? The wheels fell off the bus. It has no battery in it. How you doing, Mila? Fran said Yahoo limits the storage now, like Gmail need to do cleaning. Oh yeah, I have to, and I have to. I mean, I get so many emails, about information that some of it is like the same. I guess the same topic or email coming from multiple people. So, um, if that happens, I'll respond if I see it. If it goes to my spam folder, I just didn't see, and I don't check my spam folder every day. I guess I'm gonna have to, because Yahoo's weird. But sometimes I just respond and then I'll delete it because it could be repetition, and it just kind of helps me to maintain my sanity and not have the my email kind of blocked up like that. So I unfortunately I do have to delete some of these emails out just to keep space, because Yahoo is full of crap. I don't know what they doing. So shout out to you all. I got some emails coming in from many of you, and I just wanted to at least make sure you guys know that I've read and responded to it. Um, yeah, just seeing these emails. Oh my god. So at least I can acknowledge it, even if I have to clear up space, because it could have been something I already talked about. But if it was in my spam folder, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. I'm so sorry. It's crazy. All right, y'all. This video right here, we got to check this out. And I'm glad we kind of started off with a little laughter, so it can kind of ease us into these videos from Lenae on. If I can get one of the mods to please drop the YouTube channel link for Lenae Honor as well in the chat, that would be fantastic. But this video is a video sent to me directly. It's not like upload on anybody's channel. This is something else. This is something else. Jeez, I felt like I'm being attacked by Kentifa. Seriously, Jason Whitlock is different guy. Okay, Jason Whitlock is somebody else. I think Jason's last name is Jay Witt's last name is Whitaker. And he said this before himself, his last name. I don't think it's Whitlock. I don't know who that is. Whitlock is a candy man. Really? So there's a Jason Whitlock that's a candy ass cult member. You can't make the because I know Jay Witt, my brother in Christ. He no, he keep his foot on Candace's neck. Yeah, his last name is Whitaker. So I don't know. Yeah, I literally typed Jason Whitlock. Okay. I feel tense already. See, I need that humor. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. Oh, this is crazy. All right, y'all. Let's get to this. It does have some sound. Thank goodness. So it's 17 seconds. Y'all put a one in the chat when you can see it in here. Let's go. Oh no. You can't open. You gotta be kidding me. What the heck? Hold on, let me. Okay. Let me pull it out of my folder. That's what happened. I moved it. Okay. Let's get back to this. I don't know if y'all can hear it already. Y'all, this is epic. It's so epic. Let me share it again. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Y'all. Shout out to Dr. Nene. I hope it's Nene and Nene. I don't want to mispronounce your name. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. This it's magic school bus. Oh man. And Jay Witt podcast. Shout out to Jay Witt. He actually went to the school and did another tour, I think, the week of Thanksgiving. And we went over that portion of the video, and he actually recorded the bus. Y'all, you can't make this up. I gotta play this again. Oh, boy. That magic school bus. Y'all. You got a rocket on it. Oh my goodness. Well done. Well done. Of course, that's gonna be a thumbnail. Oh, that's too funny. Um, Lenae Honor YouTube channel. Lenon Lenae Honor. Let me see. I can pull up the y'all. Shout out to Dr. Needy. That was epic. I love this video. I love it so much, man. Y'all keep it coming. Oh man, Umar, we know you had that bus. You literally planned on putting kids on that dang on bus. You out your mind. You can't make this up. All right, so here is Lenae Honor's channel. I'm gonna share the video as well. What's going on, Dr. CB? How you doing? True beekeeper. Looks like the termites are holding hands to keep it together. I know, right? Oh man, this bus. Yeah, I don't advocate for anyone to get attacked. I just don't. And it's April actually doesn't care for Candace either. So Jason Whitlock. Oh my goodness. Bonjour, what's going on? Hello, y'all. How you doing, Umar? My school goes to space. I know, right? You're safe now, Mira. Yes, this is a safe space. We don't do all of that. I don't believe in docs. I don't believe in any of that. I don't care how mad, or I'm not even gonna say mad at this point, because after 5 going on 6 years on YouTube, you're just gonna have, you know, content creators, other YouTubers and stuff are gonna say something because they think they're protecting somebody that thinks that they're a god on earth, and they're not. They just I don't have to protect and defend anyone. I just present the information, and that's pretty much that. And I'll let people decide how they want to take that in. But mm-mm, I'm not going to turn around and dox those people. As bad as Candace Owens is out here trying to dox people and get information on people that have nothing to do with anything, I would never turn around and do that to her kids. I just wouldn't. And whatever's out there publicly about her, it's out there. Same thing with uh George Farmer, aka Boys Club. I don't put anything out there about them that is not already out there. As horrible as she is with just completely disregarding that law, because she won't go over it. So she'll let her candy ass cult members believe that her doxing somehow is legitimate. No, it's not. They don't understand what doxing is, what type of information is considered doxing, personal identifiable information. They have no concept of that. So when I see them in the chat trying to defend her doxing, I'm like, and she'll never tell them what the law is, so she'll just leave these people into the void, and all of these people come down, bring them all down with her, having them believe that it's okay to go finding and cyber stalking people on social media to try to dox them and put their information out there. Somehow, yeah, in their world that they think that's okay, but no, she gonna catch the right one on the wrong day. That's all I'm saying. They gonna sue the crap out of her. So I don't even, nah, man. If you were out it like that, no, I don't advocate for that. It's so crazy. You're safe over here, honey. Oh my God, y'all, this bus. Okay, we're gonna get to it. I want to just first shout out to, of course, my moms, and let you guys know about the second channel. So that was rebranded at one point to be a Tommy G Clipper, but because it has been very difficult for me to try to keep up with clipping his content, and then it's not like I can just directly upload it. I have to actually edit and then save and upload it, and it took a lot of time. So what I did was, renamed my second channel to the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. And that channel will be for, like trending topics and some of the more gossip, more like gossip type stuff that's going on, or things that might not require a lot of reporting and research, but just awareness and the salacious stuff. That's where that's going over there. So it's like I did a video about the young lady in Chicago who was attacked by children, by other kids, that was jumped on, and all of that. Her two kids were jumped on, and she just refused to fight and hit the kids back because they're kids. But I talked about that in the members only. And so I'm like, okay, I want to have that second channel be for those types of topics and conversations. And there's a few things I want to, talk about over there. So it's easier now for me to live stream directly to my second channel than it is to try to clip and do all this editing and stuff that I don't like doing. For Tommy G. Tommy G is a fantastic content creator. So you guys make sure you check him out. But I have to right now just do what's more um well, I guess what will save me some time I still have a regular job. I have kids and stuff like that. So it's easy for me to just live stream something different over there than it is for me to try to edit videos and all of that. But Tommy G is definitely worth it. And I appreciate the opportunity. And maybe hopefully, once these two channels get up to where they need to be, I'm trying to aim for 30,000 supporters here in the LLC. And with the LLC with Sweet Tea over there, I'm trying to get at least to 2,000 and of course get the 3,000 watch hours to get it monetized. And that would just be fantastic. So shout out to you guys. If you can, please make sure you go over there and subscribe. Please do that. So here is the second channel, completely rebranded. And let me drop the link as well so that you guys can see. Let's see. Here it is. And you guys can go over there and subscribe. And you're into that type of content where it's we dropping some tea on some things and checking out what's trending and stuff like that. You definitely enjoy that over there on the second channel. All right, so we're gonna get to it. Let's start off with this first, and that's the YouTube channel for Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. Let's see here. Dr. CB said I had to stop watching Diddy Doc and hit you up when they said his name is Nature Boy. I used to. He said his name is Nature Boy. Yeah, we got to get a couple Nature Boy episodes in too from Hood Horrors. He's doing a new series on Polite. We already checked that out. The second episode of that series. Hood Horrors is fantastic. I love his storytelling. So we definitely got to do a video watch party. At least get in 2 episodes that he has done on Nature Boy. Nature Boy's another, cult leader, basically. And people need to recognize what these cult leaders look like. Umar, of course, act like he's a dumb cult leader himself. And then, of course, putting hits out on people. All you're doing is setting yourself up for a lawsuit, at the very least. And at some point, can end up coming down to criminal charges. No one has time to sit here and be doxxed because they reported on something he didn't like it. And we don't owe him an ass kissing session. I will not do that. With none of them. Candace, Umar, Polite, none of them. Nature Boy, I'm not kissing nobody's ass. It's crazy. And they do things that break laws. Nope. So please go subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. Check out the content there. And let's get that up and running. Mira said I was confused and apologized, even though I knew I typed the right name for the person who attacked the 2P USA Faith. Oh man. Umar's Magic School Bus. I know, right? I just went off on Yaki, a Wicked Book Scam, and the BBB reviews. I never heard of that. Hey fam, Uncle Mo TV sending love. Shout out to you, Uncle Mo. Go get her music. Oh, look at that. You changed your YouTube channel name? Shout out to Uncle Mo TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can I get one of the monsters to drop the Uncle Mo? Is this the new channel name? Go get her music. Let me know because that could be the new channel name. And we'll drop your channel link. Shout out to you. And tomorrow we'll be doing a joint show with Information Man Show. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, nothing happens. Both of us have had to reschedule a couple times, so we're gonna make it happen tomorrow. I'm excited about that. So I was over on April's channel earlier, but I didn't see it. Okay. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hit the like button. All right, if you all ready, let's get to it. Let's see.
Updates on the school's progress.
First, I want to show this video that was sent to me from Lou Extra's YouTube channel. Let me share this because I think it kind of flows into this is the victims of Umar, right? And I think this flows well into why Lenae Stacks had to file for a petition against Umar because he does things that as far as harassment, bullying, and all of that. Multiple people have accused him of doing this. Him and his dumb Goonie Goon squad, hit squad. And Lenae Stacks has caught it the worst. I mean, you have Mary Ann that's caught it and gotten threats. You got people out here literally sending threats on his behalf. Now, whether he's directing people or not, because once upon a time he did. He actually said in videos he wanted people to go by somebody's house, and then he would dox and put their house address out. And it's like, that's the dumbest thing ever, because people are gonna get sick and tired of that. And you try to send out your Oguni on somebody's house, guess what they're gonna be met with? All of armed law enforcement. And then if something happens and that person gets shot, then what? And people are dumb enough to sit here and do this on behalf of Umar when he doesn't pay their bills. I don't owe Umar shit. Same thing I say about Candace. I don't owe them anything. But it's not going to stop me from holding them accountable and reporting on the facts, pulling up documentation and evidence. I'm not going to stop reporting on it. As long as they're out here, doxing people, I'm going to keep reporting on it. So this video here is from Loot Extras YouTube channel. I've never heard of it. And I wanted to check this out. And then we'll get into the video where Lyndon Honor did an interview with Lenae, and she did show some footage of Umar in court. And get to that. So put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear. Let's get to it.
Dr. Umar has had his fair share of controversies since establishing himself as the Prince of Pan-Africanism, a movement known for addressing issues in the Black community and promising change through education.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
It is consciousness over the cookies. It is politics before the punani.
But what started as an inspiration to Black people has quickly evolved into one of the most polarizing and problematic phenomena on social media.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the cool chip in the average Negro.
While Dr. Umar's wild views have resonated with thousands of people, it doesn't make up for the years of shady fundraising, attacks on anyone who dared to question his methods, and perhaps most troubling of all, failed promises.
Imagine a school where children don't have to be suspended. Imagine a school where your child never gets expelled. Imagine a school where your child never gets misdiagnosed and put in special education. Imagine a school where you don't have to worry about the teachers trying to force you to put your son or daughter on dangerous psychiatric medication.
In fact, Dr. Umar has stirred up so much commotion that it even resulted in him being investigated, turned into memes, and literally having entire blogs dedicated to exposing his fraudulent behavior. It's your boy Luesta, and before we get into the victims of Dr. Umar, this video is sponsored by Raycon. Keep your ears open and playlists rolling with Raycon's Essential Open Earbuds. These things are perfect for when I'm editing, on a walk, or just chilling, because they let me hear my music while still staying aware of what's happening around me. They sit right outside of your ear canal so you can still hear traffic, people, or whatever's going on. Plus they're but at half the price. I use Blue Extras Open. I want to thank Raycon legends like NFL quarterback. When St. Paul's College was on the verge of shutting down, after decades of serving Black students and producing legends like NFL quarterback Darryl Green, Dr. Umar, who had built a reputation for fighting for Black education, saw this as the perfect chance to take his legacy even further. But this is where things get interesting, because instead of helping to keep the school alive, he offered to buy the entire property and transform it into his own vision.
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy and elated to report to you today that we have found the location for the very first FDMG Academy, the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence.
After negotiating with the school authorities, they offered to sell the college for $3 million, with a down payment of $150,000 to seal the deal. However, Dr. Umar didn't have that kind of money sitting around, and with just a few months to raise the funds, he was forced to try a strategy that marked the beginning of a complete change in his career moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, community stakeholders of the African race, I implore you, I beg you, I summon you, and I petition you to donate to this cause, donate to this fundraiser. Let us show the world that we care enough about our children and enough about our history and enough about our ancestors to keep St. Paul's College in the hands of the African American community and in the hands of Dr. Umar Johnson and in the interest of African children.
Before this time, Dr. Umar was known for speaking about issues Black children face in the American school system. He even had entire books written on these issues, which also detailed what Black parents can do to handle some of these challenges. But it never seemed like it was about personal advancement before. Instead, he seemed like he was genuinely moving out of the passion he had for his community. But as he began building his new school, we would begin to see a whole different side of Dr. Umar. In the next 30 days, nearly $150,000 was raised, which was a good start for his vision. But
you see, here's the thing, that's what it came down to. It came down to money with Umar. Once he started seeing that he could just say a bunch of dumb crap and then get people to donate to him, he really just more so revealed his true intent. Because even once he got those buildings were bought by K-12, now Stride Inc. in Wilmington, he didn't buy those buildings. His name is not on the deed. He's not even a registered agent on the FDMG LLC. So he did nothing. And he knew that he could just say a bunch of stuff and get all this money because he didn't have to work for this. He didn't put his own personal money that he earns from an actual job into any of this. And then when he goes out and says on a radio interview that he only had the intention of opening the smaller school building and not both, but he kept raising money for both buildings, that right there is all I needed to hear to know that he was scamming people. I guess he didn't think people would pick that up. And he said this to Father Baba Yaga, whoever that dude is, the Baba Yaga, the Father Christmas looking guy that sits here and kisses his ass, because he's a grown man and all, feeling like he kissed the ass of another grown man. He said that on his radio show during an interview with him. It was never the intention of opening both schools. It was just to open the smaller school, see how this goes, and then open the second school if everything panned out. He can write a book, but he couldn't come up with a curriculum. So what was the classes going to be at the school? What were the students going to be learning? He got upset because someone wanted him to come up with a curriculum. But no, he just wanted people to just give him money blindly and not hold him accountable for anything. And now he doesn't even want to release anything that looks like an expense report or a receipt or a vendor invoice to show where the money was being spent. And then Liza says, well, my donors don't ask me that. His donors ask, he just calls them enemies and say they're attacking him when they do. That's a cult-like mentality. That's a true narcissist that thinks too highly of themselves, that has now become a cult leader, and he feels like he's not, responsible, or he shouldn't be held accountable. That's the issue. That money went to his head. It's the money and the power that came with it.
After 6 months, Doc made it clear how he felt about the donation so far.
So far, we raised $250,000. I know y'all got a lot more to give me than some $250,000. When Darren Wilson killed Michael Brown, white folks gave him $300,000 in 3 weeks for his defense. And Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to build a state-of-the-art school for black boys that y'all all know I need.
He didn't build anything. He didn't even buy the buildings. It's funny how people were able to raise $150,000 for this. But when you have content creators like myself saying, hey, if you would like to financially donate to the channel for, the embetterment of the channel, feel free to donate. My Cash App is scrolling below. Cash App, LadyLuckClubLLC. I have Zelle, a super, any of that. Now all of a sudden we're doing this for views, clicks, and a lot of money. YouTube doesn't pay a whole lot of money, by the way. You only get like 10 cents per 1,000 views. I would have to have millions of views in order to see some real money from YouTube. But he can raise $150,000 or $300,000 on a lie, while he doesn't tell everybody he was not going to open both schools. That's what's so crazy to me. People are willing to give money to someone that has this fake snake's oil salesman, fake preacher boy type cadence. When he talks, he sounds like he's preaching to somebody. And he always talking about helping black boys, when you don't even see him taking care of his own children. And people are prone to give someone like Umar and a Candace or a Nature Boy money. But if a content creator who's doing research or reporting, putting out great content, saying, hey, if you would like to financially contribute or donate, go ahead. Nope. I mean, $25 goal I've had for a while, which I kind of put on pause because I don't want people to think I'm trying to force money or anything like that. Free to give if you would like to. It's up to you. It's a choice. It's always a choice. But make sure you hit that like button. Like button, engage in the chat, subscribe. Those things go a long way too. But if you have a $25 goal, it's like a cardinal sin. But he lies to people. He gets $150,000, $200,000. It's deplorable that he's willing to take advantage of people so easy and lie to them and won't tell them the truth. And yet he expects people to keep giving him money. The hypocrisy is staggering.
And after 6 months, I only got $250,000. Trifling ass black people.
Well, that seemed like a simple joke at the time. It gave people a glimpse into how he assessed situations around him. To him, his vision was worth a lot more than $250,000 in 6 months.
But y'all sure called me up when the school's messing with your son. Did you make a donation to my school? Not yet. Bye. Click. That's the new Umar. You want some help with your son? Did I get a donation? No, I want to hear that. Mail the donation, then you call me back, and then I'll help you with your son. But you're not going to use me to fight white folks when your son shouldn't even have to put up with them in the first place.
Over the next decade, he appeared on countless podcasts and TV shows, promoting the project and raising more funds. While no one knows exactly how much he's racked up, reports...
He's showing people he doesn't care. You want me to help your child? Okay, you got to pay for it. What do you mean? If you truly wanted to help kids, you wouldn't even worry about the cost. And you would just do it because you want the kids to get help. And mind you all, he's not licensed or certified to be anybody's psychologist. He just has a degree that we still have not seen him actually hold up. I haven't even seen this man walk across the stage and actually get a degree. It could be faked. Who knows? That could be the greatest con ever with this. But let's say he just got a degree. He still doesn't have a license or a certification. And yet people still gave to that. And he's laughing in their face saying, I'm not going to help your kid if you can't pay me. You can't donate, then I ain't doing nothing. How would he know who's donated and not donated if he's not keeping a paper trail? That's the $1 million question. If he's not keeping up with the donations in PayPal, where he can just log in and see all the donations he's receiving, and he can't even send out a tax statement, how can he say who has and who has not even donated? If they call him saying, hey, help me with this question I have for my kid. I mean, honestly, don't go to somebody that's not licensed and certified. Go to a real psychologist. I won't call him with shit anyway, but go to a real psychologist that can offer you sound advice and guide you when it comes to your children and their learning. Not someone that's not certified, but he expects people to give him money for it.
Suggests it's grown into a substantial sum. Yet, despite years of fundraising, updates on the school's progress have been few and far between. All we've seen is a video of him hinting at the HVAC system for the school, and another video from 2024, where they seem to be painting the school.
We having an HVAC party today. We having an HVAC party today, brothers and sisters. I said we having an HVAC party. HVAC. Do you know what an HVAC party is? Heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Oh yes, brothers and sisters.
I want to say thank you to all you who came out this past weekend and helped us out. We had a beautiful time Saturday and Sunday getting the school ready for our young men.
It's obvious that this isn't enough to justify the millions of dollars donated by average black citizens. What's even more weird was that every time Dr. Umar was asked about the progress, he would completely go off the rails in a way that seemed very defensive.
What did you do with the money? That is the silliest question I've ever been.
Mira, don't worry. I can send an email too, because I don't want anybody to feel like this. You know, I try to look out, especially for those of you who support me in not just one or two videos. I mean, support me in all of my lives. I hate to hear that happen. And I don't know what's going on, but I will reach out to Jay Witt myself to find out what's going on. And if you can't email me so that I can see what specific live stream you're referring to, and email me the link, and I'll check out the video myself and see what happened in the chat. Mira, so I don't want you to feel any type of way. No one should be set up to be attacked or in anywhere from anybody in any capacity. So please email me if you can, LadyLuckClubLLC at Yahoo. Send me the link to April's video, and I'll reach out to Jay Witt myself to figure out what's going on, because I never want anyone to feel this way. I don't. I care about all of you all, and social media can be cruel. It really can. So I'm hoping that this is just some sort of misunderstanding, but I will reach out to him. So please email me if you're still listening. Email me, please, because I want you to feel valued, and I don't want to see, especially my supporters, I don't want to see any of you put in a situation where you're being attacked in this without justifications. No. Please email me if you don't mind. Can I get here's my email address. Yeah. Because there are real people behind some of these profiles. I mean, we can tell who's bots, but there are real people behind these, these profiles here on YouTube. So email me if you can, Mira, and let me look into that. Just give me an opportunity to look into that and reach out to Jay Witt. No problem, Miss Files. I appreciate it. That's for Mira if Mira's still here. Yeah, no, I don't want you to feel that way because that's not right. All right, yeah, let's get back to it. I have to check on my supporters. I have to check on my mods. Like I don't believe in any of that. So that's there for Mira to email me and just kind of let me know what's going on. All right, let's get back to this.
Next, what did you do with the money? Well, I think you can see what I did with the money. We got 4 buildings. I think you can see what I did with the money.
And then he would go on to demand for more.
In the meantime, you need to hit the Cash App, $FBMG school. We're getting close to the finish line.
But after a while, most people started to see through the smokescreen and began asking serious questions. Did he ever use that donation money to build that school? Meanwhile, some of his dedicated followers still had hopes that the school was still being developed, as they kept believing his promises.
The school will then be opened for the fall of 2021?
No, sir. We're looking to open up the school the fall of 2022. If we are fortunate enough to conclude renovations on the Marcus Garvey building and Nat Turner Gymnasium this summer, we look to open up the school next summer. So that would give us 12 months of leeway to comfortably make sure we have everything in place to receive our young men, not this coming fall, but the following fall of 2022.
But the rest of the Black community believed that he was a complete fraud, scam artist. However, on the 26th of July, 2025, things would take the most unexpected turn.
This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just...
Who's that homie again? He never said who that homie was. Umar, you dox everybody else. Why don't you just give us the first name of this homie? Because I would be shocked if he gave anybody money. Umar's not the type of person people call and ask for money from, because he never has any money to give. And of course, he's the one that's so used to getting money, he can't even prove where the money is being spent. He said, "Y'all, how can y'all look at this and say that you don't know where the money's going?" We can look at both of those bandos in Wilmington, Delaware, and ask, where did the money go? Because they're not opened. One of them is so contaminated, it's not even funny. Yeah, we can look at those bandos and ask where the money went, because you're damn sure not putting it in the bandos. You can't make this up.
To check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th, only to discover that I could not log into my account.
And if you think that was bad, just wait, because it gets even crazier.
So then I called the bank, and the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account, as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity.
While this might not be entirely impossible, given the recent suspicions surrounding the academy he claimed to be building, it ultimately came across as nothing but an excuse. Because how do you explain calling a bank concerning your frozen account, and the first question you're asking is to know whether it was locked due to fraudulent activities on your part? Yeah, that's pretty sus. And instead of providing evidence of his interaction with the bank to at least make his story more believable, Dr. Umar would double down.
So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. For my loyal supporters, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care.
Email me S-Files. Now I understand. So he gave Jason Whitlock, and they assumed he was talking about Jay Witt. Okay, I got it. Can you email me that so I can email Jay Witt myself? Appreciate it.
Of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account. Please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal.
Asking for more donations in the midst of all this controversy was completely insane. But to play devil's advocate, the doc did claim that the fraud attempt on the accounts could possibly be related to his ex-girlfriend Medea, who exposed him for being broke, or a random man known as Pastor Boosie.
I believe Medea and Pastor Boosie were fraudulently trying to get into my account, and if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested, because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense.
But
alleging someone committed some sort of criminal activity is also a crime. Umar, you know what's so crazy? He never filed anything with the bank and showed proof that he filed the complaint with the bank because he felt that they were doing something fraudulent. Why didn't he follow up by filing a complaint with the bank? And what's the name of the bank, Umar? You clown. What's the name of the damn bank? Who is this homie you were about to send money to? If you actually believe someone is tampering with your bank account, wouldn't you file a complaint with the bank? They would not call you. And then you turn around and ask, is it due to any fraudulent activity on my end? No one asks that question arbitrarily unless they feel they've done something that could be looked at as fraudulent activity. But if you know you have not done anything fraudulent with your own bank account, and he claims he had a bank account for FDMG, which is baffling to me because he's not the registered agent for the FDMG LLC. So how did he get a bank account open for the FDMG LLC? He's not the registered agent. He has no ties or connection with it. But he's talking about FDMG has his own bank account. How? I mean, I know he's lying like hell, but let's just say for argument, there's a second bank account. If it's for FDMG LLC, he's not the registered agent. How did he open that bank account? And why is that not something he's not even willing to say what the name of the bank is where these accounts were opened? But he wants everybody to hit up his PayPal and his Cash App. You can't make this up. Umar's a clown.
Immediately, people thought it might just be a ruse to cover up something even darker.
It seems like Dr. Umar is trying to set up for him to say, yo, they stole the money, bro.
This becomes so much worse when we consider the fact that he ran online to talk about it instead of handling it in private.
Trust me, Dr. Umar, somebody charged $18,000 on my credit card like a couple months ago. I didn't go online and go tell everybody about it. I called my bank, I filed a dispute, they handled it, and within 60 days, actually, a credit.
Thank you. There you go. You file a dispute. If you think something is fraudulently going on in your account, you file a complaint, a dispute. That's the actual term. You file a dispute with the bank's fraud department. That's not something you just go to the internet and then go and falsely accuse someone else of doing, because that false allegation is also, it's defamatory, and it could lead to him catching criminal charges because he's falsely accusing someone else of committing fraud with a bank account to which we still don't know the name of the damn bank. What the hell? And produce zero evidence. No evidence. It's false and misleading statements. And if they want to sue him for that, they could. Because you're alleging someone committed a crime with no evidence. It's like these stupid cult leaders don't understand definitions of terms here. And he could care less about a law.
It'd be back like immediately. But in 60 days, they sent me a letter and they said, motherfucker, yes, niggas tried it, but they didn't win. You got your money back. No harm, no foul. Dr. Umar, why are you online telling people you broke and you need, like, come on, Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar, bro.
At this point, people were convinced that he might be pulling some serious BS and could be heading behind bars. Dr. Umar's scamming ass is going to prison. As the real truth about the progress of the school remains a mystery, it wouldn't be a stretch to label the thousands of donors as victims of Dr. Umar's web of confusion. But while we're on the topic of his victims, I think it's important to go through a few of many individuals who've caught the brunt of his antics in the past years, starting with the man who is no longer here to tell his side of the story. During an Instagram live in May 2021, Dr. Umar seemingly took shots at the now deceased relationship expert Kevin Samuels.
YouTube life coaches who are trying to build a platform by making black women feel bad. I don't like it. I can't appreciate black men trying to make a dollar off of making black women feel bad.
Although the black activists never directly called out Kevin Samuels, it wasn't long before Kevin issued an indirect response where he mocked Dr. Umar.
Talk to us more like Umar. The Prince of Pan-African. Big Papa's in the house. Run my donations. I mean, shout out to Umar. I got no problem with the dude, but I think it's funny y'all keep coming up here asking everybody to talk like Umar. Queen Mother God, Cocoa Butter in.
Even after getting trolled, Dr. Umar stood his ground, insisting that he wasn't referring to Kevin specifically, further dismissing him as flat out dumb.
Comments were not particularly directed to that gentleman. I make it a point, when at all possible, to not respond to individuals whose intellectual competence I consider to be far below my own.
After this, Kevin Samuels was seen to back down in an interview with DJ Vlad, stating that he had no problem with Dr. Umar.
So I guess that probably got shown to him and taken out of context. I can see how it kind of been insulting. And my point of making that reference was not to say he's a bad person.
Yeah, while Dr. Umar's beefs with Samuels was relatively mild, one person he's never held back from attacking at every opportunity is the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. Over the years, Dr. Umar has made it his personal mission to call out the former president, often being completely disrespectful.
Barack Obama was a flunky, he was a functionary, he was a stool pigeon, and he was a puppet, and yes, he was a coon.
However, his attacks weren't limited to bare name-calling, as he would repeatedly portray Obama as the architect of what we know today as the woke agenda, particularly when it comes to the LGBTQ issues in the Black community.
One of the reasons Barack Obama was made...
While Umar is hiding out in Hyde Park, talking about how somebody's mouth is not as strong as a man's jaw, while he's actually taking photos with people in the LGBTQ community. I showed you all a photo that he took with Jussie Smollett. Did y'all see that? Because I just want to make sure. He's taking photos with members of the LGBTQ community, but he goes around and then he degrades and dogs it out. I don't even like Jussie Smollett is gay, right? Why would any member of the LGBTQ community take time to do a photo with him as bad as he's dogged out their community? While Umar, you still go to Hyde Park again and do what again? Which is a notorious hangout spot for LGBTQ. What? Can't make this up.
President is so he could normalize the LGBTQ agenda in the Black community. Think about it. If George Bush tried to push homosexuality in the Black community, we would have rejected him. Of course. If Donald Trump tried to push homosexuality in the Black community, we would have rejected him. Of course. You could only normalize that through a blackface.
Well, this isn't exactly true. It was enough for people to start regurgitating it on the internet. Dr. Umar would even go further by calling Barack Obama a horrible role model for Black children. His attacks came across as an attempt to...
You can't make this up. Umar, you got the audacity to say that Obama is a horrible role model for Black children, while you don't take care of your own damn kids. He's got like at least 3 kids with 3 different women. So he tried to say something about someone making $1 off of attacking Black women and making them feel bad. But yet he turns around and disrespects Black women by talking about their private areas or attacking them and wanting Ogonigoons to pull up on them because they don't sit here and worship the ground he walks on. These same Black women that he will disrespect because they're his baby mother and they don't want to deal with his BS. They got to take him to court for child support. A judge has him on supervised visitation with one of his kids. Get the F out of here.
Discredit a man who rose to the highest office and served his country for 8 solid years. This habit of constantly talking down on the achievements of people is something he's been doing for years, and no one has been able to escape it, including one of the greatest rappers of all time in Slim Shady himself. During a Breakfast Club interview, Dr. Umar was clear about his feelings regarding the white rapper's success, stating that all of his achievements and respect in the game were as a result of his race, as opposed to skill or hard work.
Eminem,
yes,
can't be the GOAT because he's white, is what you said.
Eminem cannot be the GOAT because he's white. First of all, my perspective on this issue is not about Eminem. I got to make this...
He's racist. Umar is so racist. You think Eminem give a damn about him? Eminem has talent, first of all. He's not one of those little thunk-headed mumble rappers or anything like that. He's been at it for over 20 years. He signed a contract. He earned it. He's won Grammys. He's one of the greatest rappers ever. And here Umar is with his non-rapping ass talking about he can't be a GOAT because he's white. You can't make this up. But yet Umar won't show anybody where he's spending the money. And then when people try to help with providing labor, free service, desk, skills, like plumbers come in, electricians, all he has to do is get a permit, a building permit, and he won't even do that. He will ignore and ghost someone trying to give him some desk, and all they're saying is you got to pay half on the gas and pay for the labor. But there are a bunch of school desks that we're willing to bring to you, and he blocks this person. He doesn't tell anybody that he's only trying to open 1 school and not 2. He refuses to get the building treated with black mold. But he wants people to just hit up his Cash App and his PayPal. Y'all, if y'all want to hit up my Cash App, it's scrolling below. $, LadyLuckClubLLC. You can't make this up. Supers, whatever. Don't matter. I don't care how small or large it is. Feel free to hit it up. You can't make this up.
Clear.
According to Dr. Umar, rap is part of black culture. So considering a white person to be the best in that field automatically means supporting white supremacy. And this belief extends far beyond the rap industry.
No non-African can ever be the best.
Eminem is not a white supremacist. What the hell? The stupidity of it all. Is he more jealous at the fact that Eminem is talented and actually more famous and wealthy than he is? I mean, what is this? What is this? You don't have to like Eminem. Just pick another artist that's black. I mean, you don't even have to mention Eminem's name. Why even entertain that conversation if you don't care for Eminem? So talk about black rappers that you like. It's that simple. Leave Eminem alone. Are you kidding me?
Of anything African. It is an insult to the ancestors, it is an insult to the race, and it is an insult to every black person.
On the surface, it seems like he's simply defending black people and their interests. But when it comes down to taking care of his own black family, the story isn't quite the same. Throughout his career, Dr. Umar has had children with multiple baby mamas, despite being someone whose entire brand is built on black people being more responsible, especially with their families. You'd expect a public figure with this rep to at least keep his family close. But we learned from his daughter, Dr. Umar is often nowhere to be found.
My biological father is Dr. Umar. I'm 22 years old now. My dad has never been to anything important, no graduation, no birthday parties, nothing. He has not been in my life. You can't get on Instagram and get on social media and portray to be an activist and talk about how black kings need to be with black women, but you're not even in your black woman's daughter's life.
Being absent from his own daughter's life spits in the face of everything Dr. Umar stands for. And he got a lot of people calling him a deadbeat and a hypocrite. He hasn't denied that this is his daughter. He knows who she is and her mother. It's giving deadbeat. Deadbeat is a deadbeat. Dr. Umar, you being an absent father to a black child is our business. Because of all the controversy after this video was released, Dr. Umar would put out a response video arguing that things weren't as they seemed.
There's a lot of slander going on. There's a lot.
He's calling it slander, but he's not saying how it's false. Umar, you're an idiot. In order for you to say slander, you have to prove that the statements are false. You moron. Why is it so hard for him to Google defamation, which would include slander and libel? Does he even know that slander and libel falls under defamation? We have whole laws on that. He has not provided any evidence to prove the statements to be false. He can't say how his daughter lied. He can't show photos or videos where he was at her school functions or graduation, or prove that he paid child support or financially supported her. He can't provide any evidence on that. So when people say he's a deadbeat because he has no evidence to prove that he was an actual father that was present in his children's life, in his daughter's life, another whole child, he can't even see without a supervision, without a supervisor. A judge ordered him to supervise visitation. Why? Why would a judge tell him you can't get physical custody, and if you want to have visitation, it must be supervised? Why would a judge sign off on that if there was nothing to that, if it was not important? But he thinks he gets to speak on behalf of all black people when he talks about Eminem. No, you don't, you clown. But when it comes to him and his business, because he does look like a deadbeat and sounds like one, now all of a sudden it's nobody's business. Well, stop trying to speak on behalf of all black people, you clown.
A lot of lies being pushed out there. There's people trying to use my name to build themselves up. Been paying child support since you damn near came out the womb. Deadbeat who? When can we have a sit down? Child support started, you wasn't even out your mama yet, and she took me to child support. Deadbeat who?
After completely dismantling his own daughter online.
But he didn't prove that he paid child support, and she had to take him to court. That means you didn't do it on your own, Umar. She wouldn't have taken you to court if you were actually financially supporting the baby. Even if you wanted the child support to start after birth and establish custody, you didn't do that. That's something that they will have you do in court. It's not like he just tried to help on his own. If she took him to court, it's more than likely because he was not doing it on his own. The hell is wrong with him?
He would go on to invite her for a proper conversation.
Trying to build your struggle streaming career off of my back, coming up out of nowhere, acting like you've been looking for me. Get Mama Smurf. When can the three of us have a sit down? I'm ready for this.
Dr. Umar.
No one needs to have Your daughter is over 18 years old. She does not need her mother to be a part of that conversation. If you have evidence that you've made payments on child support, or you've written checks and you sent them, or even a transfer, then why don't you just post the evidence to show I've been financially caring for you since before you were even born. I made sure that the rent was paid. I made sure you had Pampers and wipes and formula. Here are all the receipts where I bought you clothes and stuff from Walmart, formula, towels, things you would need. And I did this consistently every month. Why can't he just post up the evidence then? Post up photos where you were at her school, where you came to a recital, where you went to a PTA meeting. Post up the evidence.
Might not be a deadbeat father, but simply providing for his daughter without being in her life just wasn't enough for people to back off, forcing the 50-year-old to threaten anyone who gets in his way.
I strongly recommend you mind your business, because if you don't, you will be blocked and put in the book of Negroes.
Okay, book of Negroes, which is nothing. Go ahead and sit here and put people in the book of Negroes. It's not going to stop them from saying what they have to say. It's not going to stop people from saying you're a deadbeat, because you haven't proven your daughter to be a liar. A judge ordered him to supervise visitation, because you can't make this up. Everyone is not lying when it comes to him. Multiple people are saying the same thing. You can't make this up. Why bring in the baby mother? And she's 22 years old? That's how ridiculous he is. Just stupid stuff. That's his comeback. It's not, here are all the receipts where I sent money to the mother to take care of my daughter. I don't know where it went, but I sent it. Then at least that will put the ball in her court. He didn't even do that. What a clown. Stop speaking on behalf of all Black people if you don't want anybody to sit here and scrutinize you when you're out being a hypocrite to your own nonsense you tell folks. Your own bullshit. He attacks women so quick it's not even funny, and yet someone else should not make money from hurting Black women's feelings. And I'm not advocating for Black women to be hurt and attacked all the time, but Umar does that as well. He mistreats Black women. He doxes them. He goes and berates them and degrades them all over social media. But they're talking about Black queens forever.
See, on my social media, I've been blocking people who think my business is their business.
A clearly hypocritical statement for a man who always seems to be in everybody's business, especially when it comes to viral Black celebrities. He's no stranger to throwing shade at everything they do, including who they date, how they spend their money, and how they spend their time.
I'm so tired of Black celebrities talking about how many kids they paid for to go to college, how many kids you paid for to go to college. All you're doing is pumping money back into the white power structure. When is the Black celebrity going to start funding the Black community?
And he would go on to call out specific names in the entertainment industry as if they weren't doing enough with their immense wealth.
Oprah, Beyonce, Tyler Perry, and Jay-Z, you are the Mount Rushmore of Black celebrities right now today. I need you four to come together and give us a hospital, a bank, and a chain of supermarkets. I'm going to say it again. Give us a hospital, a bank, a chain of supermarkets, and I need you to fund the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Calling out celebrities for not funding the Black community while constantly asking.
Never mind the fact that you have Black celebs that have opened schools. Tyler Perry has a whole studio in Atlanta where he hires people in the area, in the community, to work at the studio. And now Tyler Perry done caught up in the scandal. He got a lawsuit against him for allegations that he's essayed another man. But if you're talking about opening up businesses and helping to stimulate the economy, Tyler Perry has done a lot more than Umar. Umar, where's your job? How do you earn money again? When the last time he had a job? When the last time Umar worked? He doesn't have a business. And he didn't buy the buildings. His name's not on the deed. He's not the registered agent to the LLC. So how's he earning money again? But he's telling these people to fund the FDMG. No, they're not funding a scam. They will force you to have to prove where you're spending the money. And you don't want to do that. You remember? He's such a clown.
for donations himself is completely absurd. However, the supposed black activist wasn't done with his antics, as he would go further to clown prominent figures in the black community for being involved in interracial relationships, including none other than Shannon Sharpe, who was reportedly facing a lawsuit over his involvement with a white woman.
With a bunch of rich Negroes like the Shannon Sharps and Charles Barkleys and Tiger Woods and his UFC fighter, they're going up there to lease the bunny, and they sign the contract, but they don't read the contract.
Tagging a simple interracial relationship as a contract is wild, but assuming that every single white woman wants to run away with your wealth is even crazier.
Black men don't date white women. They rent and lease them. And when the snow bunny is done being rented or leased, she takes half of your assets with her. We're talking about snow bunnies using gullible, goofy-ass black men as economic stimulus packages.
He would even go to the extent of giving Bronny James an ultimatum in order to earn his support.
Bronny James, drop the bunny and get you some chocolate honey. I can't share for you, my brother, if you're going against the black woman by dating and mating outside the community.
The pattern of calling out black men for their dating choices has quickly become something he can't ignore, even when he's on your side.
They snow bunnied our brother Jonathan Majors. Those of you who know me know I absolutely do not condone bunny hopping. Black men have no business dating outside the race. Absolutely not. But be that as it may, an attack on one black man is an attack on all black men.
Right now, the situation with Dr. Umar has the entire community divided. Do we keep listening or donating? Or do we turn away from the man who's been giving excuses since 2013?
We're going to rekey them classroom doors. We're going to lay this tile down, and we're going to apply for the certificate of occupancy. Do anybody got a problem with what I just said? Does any?
Yes, I do. Several of us do. Many of us do. Millions of us do. We all have problems with what you just said. You can't rekey anything. You don't put up permits to have any work done on anything. You don't even produce contracts with vendors to prove any services is being done to those buildings. You won't even get the black mold treated, which would cost you millions of dollars. That school is better off being demolished. Both of the buildings. Then the last time he's in it, he's scrubbing out 2-year-old Dookie out of toilets, and he's got the gym looking like his house, like he live in it. Why in the world would people give money to that BS? And you're sitting here calling out these celebrities. Oprah don't have to give you any money for anything. He is jealous of these people's financial success. He wants the money that they have, but he doesn't want it to come from people who are going to hold him accountable. He wants to take it from black communities where people are struggling, living check to check, from these single black mothers that sit here thinking that he's really trying to look out for him and try to defend them when he's dogging them out as well. He literally dated 2 sisters that had the same father. Didn't care about how the other one felt. He literally dated 2 sisters that shared the same father. He doesn't even care about going down the lineage. He can't get with one sister, he'll go to the other sister. And these women allow this shit to happen. They defend him, and he can't even show how the money has been spent. And yes, people do have the right to know. Because he's saying he's trying to open a school up. And they're donating to this under those pretenses. Otherwise, Umar's being completely fraudulent, giving out false information, and being misleading about where the money is going and what the purposes of that money is for. So when you're deceiving the public like this, yes, you should have your ass called out. Absolutely. Those people don't owe him a dime. They don't owe him nothing. Umar, get a job. You're not going to get a certificate of occupancy if you can't pass an inspection. But see, those are the things he doesn't tell his cult members. The Umar Tardians don't read. They don't research. They don't look anything up. They will not look up whether or not you can get a certificate of occupancy without an actual inspection permit. That whole building will fail. And if any parent puts their child in those buildings and he decides to open up the doors and it's nothing but black mold, all of those parents need to lose custody of their kids. And they should be charged for negligence and putting their children's health and their safety in danger. So yes, him and those parents need to go to jail for that if they do that. Can't make
Only talking to my supporters and donors. If you're not a supporter or a donor, hop off the live. The accounts are still frozen. We're looking into it. The accounts are still frozen, brothers and sisters. We're supposed to hear back Friday. That sounds like Monday to me.
Whether you see him as a voice of Black empowerment or a controversial grifter, it's important to remember who has been most affected by this saga, because ultimately, the real victims of this controversial figure are simply everyday people who believed in Dr. Umar's vision, the families who scraped together donations, hoping to contribute something that would benefit Black children, and their commitment to Black education deserves recognition.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Who knows? You can't make this up, y'all. Y'all, shout out to Loot Extras, the victims of Umar. And if you guys didn't notice, he did show a photo of Lenae. So here's where we're gonna get to what's going on with this court. Shout out to Lynn and Honor. Let me drop the channel link, or the video link rather. He went live on this 3 days ago. Lenae was on the channel doing an interview, discussing what's going on with the court. Let's get some comments in right quick. Let's see. Tavares knelt it on the hammer. I'm trying to go back up to this comment that I saw. King Randall. So if you guys weren't, don't know or not familiar with the situation, Umar scammed King Randall out of some money. King Randall gave him some money, I guess with the promise that he was going to get an interview. And he never got that interview. And so King Randall, of course, was like, look, I gave him some money for this interview. And correct me if I'm wrong here. Gave him some money for this interview, and he never got it. And of course, King Randall needs to be asking for that money back. Because if you have an agreement, even if it's a contract implied, you don't deliver on your end, King Randall could sue him and take him to court. And because Umar can't even show what he's doing with money, yet somehow, and like I always say, Marianne deserved a lot more than that $68,000. But the reality is that $68,000 for that settlement came from donors' money or his attorneys, or some sugar mama or somebody. Because people are still giving him money to this very day. And they're not demanding evidence. They're having him think it's okay to keep collecting money without having to prove what he's doing with it. You got pastors that also have 501c3s. Churches are 501c3s. And you got pastors that go to jail for money laundering, for fraud, for raising money, and not being accountable for what they're doing with it. David E. Taylor is a prime example. He was indicted by the FBI for having a cult and forcing people to raise money while having them chained up, barely feeding them, having women come to his home against their will, holding people hostage. He was just indicted about 2 or 3 months ago from the FBI. And he had a church, a nonprofit organization, where he brought in tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he forced people to get on the phones and raise money up just to fund his lifestyle. So if Umar thinks he's not accountable, or he should not be held accountable for, what he's doing with this money, he's got another thing coming. It would be no different than how they would handle an investigation dealing with a pastor. Churches are 501c3s as well. So it's the school. The same way they're handling some of these pastors. And they're reporting on how they're spending money, $150 million for a plane and all this other nonsense they don't need. Same thing can happen with Umar. He's no exception to that. He just thinks he's above the rule of law. Umar, you're not. You're a clown. Can't make this up. What's going on, Jay the Informant? How you doing? Thank you, Tavares. Thank you for the $4.99 super. I appreciate it. Oh, man, thank you all so much for the contributions. Like I said, if you want to make a contribution, Cash App, Zelle, as well as supers, I appreciate it. I don't care what the amount is. And it goes towards the expenses of the channel. The Xfinity, the StreamYard, all those things. It just helps go towards, the expenses for this channel that I wouldn't have if I didn't do a channel. I don't even have cable, y'all. So I want to make sure I'm giving you all great quality content. And I appreciate any donations. I just hit the like button and share the videos, and let's continue to grow this channel. And the second channel, the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. And that to me means a whole lot more. But you know, financial contributions are welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. $4.99. Super. Jada Informant up in here. Facts. Oh man, keep your foot on Umar's neck. I will. Oh, I will. I will. Facts. Doing well. If I can get the mods to drop Jada Informant's YouTube channel link in the chat, let's show him some love. I appreciate it. That would be awesome. King Randall is a good man. He's actually doing it instead of talking about it. Exactly. I do believe he's opening up a school or some sort of center for kids. So the fact that he gave money to Umar in exchange for an interview, I mean, that's the simplest thing he could have done. It's just gave him an interview. Why would that be something he felt like he needed to scam money out of somebody? It's like he's jealous of people that's actually doing it. He dogs out LeBron James because LeBron James actually opened I Promise schools. So if anyone's wondering, why is he talking about his son? Because his gripe is with LeBron James and the fact that LeBron James actually opened a number of schools, not just in one state. I Promise Schools has multiple locations. But I Promise Schools also receives funding from large donors as well. And if, like I said, you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have no problem with being held accountable and proving where the money is being spent. And I did a video analysis on that. It's on the Umar Johnson playlist where I compared the I Promise Schools to the FDMG. There's not even an FDMG school website. Umar didn't even bother with paying somebody to create a website for the school. And that's one of the things I always ask the Umar Tardians. Where's the school link? Where's the school website link? One still does not exist to this very day. So how serious does he expect somebody to take him when he's talking about opening a building up for a school when he doesn't even have a school website? Basic stuff like that. He's such a moron. You can't make this up. Let's see here. Ing 360 said, I just got here. I've heard of Umar Johnson. He's guest starred on a lot of shows, and his views on modern segregation are very interesting. What is going on with him now? He's a liar. He's a liar. Lenae Stacks has taken him to court, so we're about to check out what occurred with that hearing. But he's a liar. He's not opening up any schools. He's not doing anything. And of course, you know, the jealousy he has against LeBron and against the other basketball player, Jalen Rose, that opened up schools and stuff, is simply because they did the right thing. Umar doesn't want to take government funding, even though he wants a government break. He wants to get a waiver to not have to pay vacant property registration fees. So he doesn't care if the government pays those fees or waives those fees for him, which is still less money that FDMG has to put towards those fees. But he doesn't want to take funding from the government because he knows they will hold him accountable. He wants Oprah to actually give him money for FDMG when she can open her own school. And I believe she has. I don't know if she did in the U.S., but I do believe she has created a couple schools. And she could open more if she wanted to. So why would she give him money for FDMG when he can't even prove he's the registered agent and he doesn't have a school website? No school website. But he wants Oprah Winfrey to give him money for FDMG. Child pollution. You can't make this up. Umar's a moron. No, they're not going to do that. All right, y'all. Let's get to this video here. It is over 2 hours, 50 minutes long. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. I think I put the video link in the chat. So make sure you guys check out the video in its entirety because it's almost 3 hours. And I'm going to speed it up just a bit for the sake of brevity because it is a lengthier video. But we're definitely going to get to the beginning and see what's going on with this court case. And there's a second video I wanted to play out because, you know, it just needs to be shown. All right, let's get to it. Put a one in the chat if you can see it here. Let's go.
All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for tuning on in. This is breaking news. We have a special guest. Lenae's back. the undefeated Lenae.
The undefeated
I want to thank everyone
Lenae.
for tuning on in. And we got a bit to
Get
get
out there,
into.
Lenae.
There's been some developments that have taken place behind the scenes. We've kind of referenced them a little bit, but Lenae's here to kind of give people an update on what's been taking place. Lenae, you there?
Yes.
All right. So I know there's been a lot going on. I don't know where you want to start. It's totally up to you. Thank you for bringing this information to us. We appreciate it.
No problem. Well, let me see where I can start. I said that I wasn't going to give you guys anything until after it's already happened. That's just to make sure that he doesn't do something to try to counter, like a counter move. And it just works better like this with the internet. So we had court today. And that was
you and Umar had court today.
Yeah, me and Umar, sorry, had court today. If you could call it a trial, that's what it was. So he showed up. He brought with him a lady, Malika. He brought her with him. We know he needs a handler, so he brought a handler. And we went through the process. Now, the thing that is strange about this, the ex parte, they're like clapping it up because he didn't really win it. I just didn't get it. And the reason why I didn't get the ex parte is because the judge decided that the evidence wasn't enough in order to grant it. But it wasn't, it was a step that had to be taken, but it's not like end all. You know what I mean? So we got to, when we got up in front of the judge.
Okay, so she's saying that there was a request for an ex parte hearing, and the judge did not grant the request for the ex parte hearing, is my understanding. And I'm assuming that because ex parte hearings are specific for like protection orders, especially when you are expressing that there's a threat from someone to do physical bodily injury or harm to you. Then you go and you can seek a protection order. So ex parte hearings can be done in the event of a protection order for a petition for a protection order. Because if you're saying that this person is threatening you and they're going to do you physical bodily injury or harm, the last thing the courts want to do is put you both in the courtroom together at the initial for the initial phase of this. So the first hearing could be ex parte. But if that is what she's saying was denied, that's not a reflection of the overall case. The case could still be open and active. It's just a matter of a motion or a request to the court for something specific in the case that has been denied, not the entire case being dismissed and closed. That's not how court works. And I know Umar and the Umar Tardians don't understand, those concepts. That's not how court works. You can have a whole lawsuit going, and then you have either party file a motion or a petition or, request, and you have a hearing on that specific motion. It's not a trial hearing to end the case. It's just a hearing on that specific motion. And then the judge can either grant or deny that motion, but it doesn't mean that the entire case is closed. So there's a difference in that. I just wanted to put that out there so that people are not listening to this thinking that the case is closed when it was maybe it sounds like an actual request, a specific request or a motion to the court for a specific hearing, an ex parte hearing that was denied, but the case is still open.
We were sworn in. I did ask ahead of time. I asked the court. I don't know if they respected it when we actually got there for them to transcribe or video it or videotape it or record it. I don't know if they did that, but yeah, everything just kind of went on left. It's not exactly what I was told it was going to be like, up to the point where I felt so confident I didn't need my attorney. And then also I was coming off of a 10-hour shift. We were supposed to start at 11. We had a long time before we actually started. I think we started around 12. Okay. But really, I feel I'll just say this: he just lies. The man just lies. He lies. He has no problem perjuring in itself. This is not the only court case, so this won't be the only court case. Or not, I want to circle back and do this again with the attorney. I'm up in the air with it. It might be necessary for what is to come that I have it. And that is where everyone is stumped, because the judge didn't listen. There were too many things that didn't go the way they're supposed to go. Like up until the point that it was pushed to a trial before she even viewed any of my evidence, which is strange because that determines whether or not it can wait. Like if it's an emergency or it could wait to a trial. I don't understand how that happened, but it is what it is. He lied.
Oh, I think you
Okay, so let me get to a couple questions here. Yeah, Umar Tardians. That's why I call us cult members. Francisca says, funny thing is Umar made out that was all and he had won the case when the case hasn't happened. He put his victory on Instagram apparently. Yeah, so I mean the case is still open. If I knew the case number and I look it up, I can see if it's still open. So I haven't been on his Instagram. I can't even get into my own Instagram. I can't remember my password. So if you guys have an Instagram, if there's a snippet, you guys can email me that. Please email it to me. I can't even get in my own Instagram. There's a lot of stuff I'm actually I just now got my emails down and trying to clear out some of this stuff. Now, but if you got a screenshot of his Instagram on that, please send it to me so I can look at that and go over it, because this is something else. So he posted up something about that particular hearing. Perjury too. Yeah, I mean, if he lies on the oath, he be possibly hit with perjury. So Tavares said there's a lady, Umar supporter, who posted the court document saying the judge rules in favor of Umar. Can't she get in trouble for that? It depends. If this is a civil matter, court documents are public documents. So anyone can, do a FOIA and get some court documents and whatnot. But if she's posting it up, misleading the public to believe that the case has been dismissed and he won the whole case, then that could be possibly damaging. And Lenae could, file something to the court to say, hey, information from the court documents are being posted up on social media, but it is being done to mislead the public to believe that this case is closed. And then maybe the judge can put something in place to keep people from doing that. But as far as getting the court documents, it's public information. It's just I haven't seen it. I need to see the court document myself. And it sounds like it's a civil matter. So I'm not quite sure what the court documents say, but if the judge were to order that person to take it down, then that's another route that can be done, especially if you're lying to the public about what the court has ruled on and decided on. And it's something that the average person, like anyone, can just go and read and get the information and see that you're intentionally lying and misleading the public about it. Then yeah, the judge could put something in place to have that taken down or to have that corrected. Because when you're lying, saying that, oh, he won this case and the judge ruled in favor of this and now the case is closed, sort of thing, you're also lying on the court, because you're saying that the court took this action in this matter when it didn't. The court didn't rule on the entire case. The court ruled on a specific request in the case. There's a huge difference in that. And because you have people who don't understand how court works and court rules and processes for certain, whether it be for a civil proceeding or even a criminal proceeding, then they're going to believe that he won the whole case, especially if they don't take the time to actually get court documents and read and understand what the court order means, or they're not familiar with the court docket. They don't know what the complaint is about. They haven't read anything else, and they see that, and they're automatically led to believe that the court case is closed. Yeah, the judge could say, no, you got to take that down, because now you're lying on us, saying that we did something we didn't do. And the courts don't like that. Judges don't like that at all. They're not for play with that. So, but the court documents itself, like having possession of it, is public information. I don't understand why lie. Like, why lie and say something was done in this matter when it can be looked up? If anybody, I wish Lenae was in here and I can get the court case number and I can look at the docket myself to see what's going on with it. The judge didn't grant Lenae a temporary protection order. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like she put in a petition for a protection order, and the judge didn't. She said specifically an ex parte hearing. So if there was a request for a specific type of hearing and the judge said no to that, I don't know. That could be separate from the actual petition for the protection order itself. So I have no idea what's going on, because I don't want to be confused. I want to be able to look at the case myself. Umar is on the short bus. I know, right? She leaked Lenae's info, though. So there was personal identifier information in that court document. I'll have to see it. I really need to see it. Y'all know I don't like people being doxxed like that. That's so crazy. And why was she there? She wasn't a party to the case or a witness. So why was that lady there? Was she in the hearing? Ex parte only means to expedite the hearing. You can request for an expedited hearing. Most times they're not gonna deny that. The ex parte hearing is actually where it's a hearing where you hear one side without the other being present. Specific cases like a protection order is one of those types of cases. And here's the information on this, where the petitioner can request an ex parte hearing, especially if you're saying, I fear for my life and my safety, and I need to be able to come to the court, present my evidence to justify why I'm requesting this protection order. And I'm requesting an ex parte hearing because I believe that this person is a very present danger and a threat to me. So as you all can see, ex parte is basically with done with respect to or in the interest of one side only, or of an interested outside party. So typically both parties, like the defendant, would have the right to, go to court and defend themselves. For protection orders, those can be heard as an ex parte hearing itself. For the initial, most times it's like a temporary protection order, and then you can have the defendant served, and then they're given a court date where now you go to what's seen as a trial, like a trial hearing, to justify whether this temporary protection order now becomes a permanent protection order. So that is when he would have the opportunity to go in and then to state his case. Like I said, I don't even know what phase this proceeding is in, but ex parte is when you're just hearing one side of the one party in the matter and not both at the same time. So the judge denied her request for that. But I don't know exactly what phase they're in with this protection order either. So let's get back to it.
Yeah, Lenae, you there? Sounds like her microphone, or I think she's on her cell phone. Let's see if she comes back on. Hold on one second. Yeah, I think she's gonna call back in. Here's video too, by the way.
Thanks for the show. It's about to get real live.
for all his black sisters in there. Hey, I love it. I love it. All you queens have a good day. You're good.
All right, okay, Lenae's back. Lenae, you there?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds like you're yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, this is outside of the courtroom. So there were some people, I'm lying. There was a person that recognized him. And then once there she is, yeah. Oh, actually it was some people. So it was her in the pink pants and another girl that were there that recognized him. So he took pictures.
What?
Because this is the time you take pictures. But
you can make this up.
He's very gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous queen. He's really in character in this. This is where we're sitting now. All these people have, they're there as witnesses or have court dates or whatever. And it was a weird.
If this were a federal court, they would not be able to even have their their phones. So this must be some magistrate court or maybe like a county level superior court. But if this were federal, they wouldn't even be able to get past security with their cell phones unless they had, some special order granted to them from the chief judge of the courts. I don't even see why the security allowed them to photograph like that, because you got people sitting here that might not want to be photographed if they're there for a protection order. Why is he taking photos?
This is just
you can't make this up.
Very weird. Just a very weird setup.
It is.
The judge, I'm just gonna say, I just say what I said. The judge did it. It wasn't handled like it was supposed to be handled. There's this thing when you go in, if there's information that you cannot share with the court, you don't want to share with the court, or it's probably not the best thing to share with the court. It's called a sealed request. And I asked the judge, I said, can I talk to you privately? She said, no, I can't do that. Like, you're in a DV type of case. Yeah, you absolutely could. But it was just so that Umar didn't hear what I had to say. She was very loose with the information, which worried me. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. Like, I brought in evidence and she's letting him go through the evidence. So my business, like my logos on, I don't want this man to have any more information than what he's. Are you listening to what I'm telling you? Don't let him look through the pile of papers. No. So after the court, I left out of there and I called. I'll just say I called someone. Umar put this up on his IG page, but he didn't tell his followers the information that's critical. He left that out. And that tells me a whole lot.
Okay, it says in the circuit court of Jackson County. See, this is a circuit court, because federal court, they don't let you pass the security with cell phones. What does that say? Order judgment for respondent. And I can't see it. Lennon. I did reach out to Lenae and emailed her before I started this live to see if she was willing to share information. He got this on is this his Instagram? Can someone send me that screenshot? If it's on his Instagram. I can't get into my Instagram. Does anyone have access to that? I'm trying to find this YouTube channel as well. I can't click on links from StreamYard, Tavares. Shout out to my mods. I appreciate you all. Can you email me that YouTube channel link? Social justice activist. Is it PP? Is that part of it? Hold on a second, because I'm trying to see this actual order. Social justice activist PP. Ugh. if I go on that person's channel, I don't need them talking about, oh, you're trying to use my content, because they petty as hell. The Martardians are just, they don't have brains, they petty, they defend him for no damn reason. It makes no sense. I can look at it, but I'm not putting that person's video on my video. Because they do dumb shit. They go into people's chats just to see what someone's going to say, and then try to say, "Oh, now you're harassing me." No, you came into my channel. And when you don't understand laws, you f around with me, you're gonna find out for real. Like, this is crazy. She's like posting up a whole bunch of stuff about other people. Like, who is this person? Oh my God, you can't make this up. If anyone can email me that photo, that Instagram for the Instagram, if it's still up, please do so. Because I want to look this. Yeah, I got the channel. What's the name of his Instagram? I'm not sure anybody know. What's Umar's Instagram? Anybody have his direct Instagram? Man, this is hard to make out. And then I can't even read the case number, because I'd rather just look at the case number. I just see Circuit Court for Jackson County, Missouri. Let me see if I can pull up the case. All right, let's get back to the video, and I'm gonna try to find the case online on the court docket.
So what's the information that's
he didn't tell them what happened in court. He just said he won. You didn't. Mm-hmm. He didn't win. He didn't win. So the information that I was trying to share with the judge, I had to leave out of the court and call and say, hey, I didn't try to obstruct anything. The judge asked me this in open court. Mm-hmm. And the ex parte even explained to her, the ex parte was not Siobhan's idea. I let everybody know what my plan was. That wasn't my part, like where I was going with things. It was a good step that needed to be taken. I don't know if I'll have to recircle it again, but I didn't come up with that. That came from another organization and another agency.
Yeah, can you explain what ex parte means?
It's just a restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
So she absolutely can hear things. If you're dealing with an abuser, I'm just using this as an example, and you're going to court and you've got a job and you don't want your abuser knowing where you're working.
Okay, so let me be specific. Ex parte means where the judge hears one of the parties, only one side of the case, meaning the petitioner rather. Oftentimes, when it comes to a restraining or protection order, an ex parte hearing is an exception for those types of cases where you can go before the judge without the defendant being present and present your case and your evidence. If it's for a restraining order, and I'm going to be flat out honest, the judge could deny it, because unless you're saying this person is going to do me bodily injury or harm, if it's a restraining order, you're just basically asking the court to restrain him from saying or doing something, but it doesn't necessarily involve a threat to someone's life, or that their life is in danger, because a restraining order is different from a protection order. But an ex parte hearing is just the judge hearing the side of the petitioner without the defendant being present. So if this is pertaining to a restraining order and not a protection order, that would make sense. I mean, a protection order, of course, would stop them from, not only, communicating about you and stuff like that, or, harassing you, but it would also protect you physically. And then it will restrain that person from being able to go within so many number of feet away from you, based on the addresses that you list. So it could be at your home address, school, church, where you work, stuff like that. If you have proof that this person is stalking you or following you, then you can add in that layer of protection. and it will restrain them from being able to go within so many feet. But a restraining order is just, I need this person to stop doing something, but not necessarily mean that you believe this person has threatened your life. So there's a higher chance that you can get the ex parte hearing if it's for a protection order than it would be for just a regular standard restraining order. But the actual threat component is missing. Does that make sense? So if I can see the case, it will be so much easier to be able to see these documents. Let's see. That's Umar Johnson's Instagram. So you add Dr. Umar Johnson? At Dr. Umar Johnson. Okay, thank you. I want to see this court document. It'll be more. Okay, cool. Okay, yay. So hopefully I can get a copy of that information directly. But it's a little nuance. So it's not like Umar has never threatened people with their life. I mean, he's done it with Lenae. So it's not outside the box to say there's a history of him doing this. But she would have to prove that there is evidence to support a protection order where he's made a threat to her life, or even her kids' lives, or someone that's in her household. But I don't know its specifics, so I'm just trying to get that information. Hopefully I can pull some up with the court. All right, let's get back to it.
Absolutely can submit things in sealed because you don't want him to gain information while he is at court.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very odd that she didn't want to accept anything sealed, and she didn't want to talk privately.
Yeah, did Umar speak at all today?
He did. He said he just lied about everything, Lennon. I can't even explain. He went through his rendition of how we got here. He said that a lot of lies. He said that I reached out to his nephew. We both know that that's not how me and his nephew got in contact.
What?
It's like he's making up things in order to fill in some gaps or just to tell a story.
Okay, even that alone would have been objected as irrelevant. His nephew is irrelevant to this. His nephew is not a witness. His nephew is not a party to the case. The nephew would be absolutely irrelevant. And I would have objected, like, Yana, I object to this. This is irrelevant. His nephew has nothing to do with this case. Him bringing up the nephew is just a distraction. It has nothing to do with this matter. His nephew is not a party to the case. He's not a witness or anything. So that is just completely irrelevant to the matter at hand here. It's irrelevant. The nephew has nothing to do with this. Why would he bring that up? Who cares if she talked to the nephew? You can't make this up. It's like he went in there and winged it. You can't make this up. Well, why bring the nephew up? And so what if she did? I mean, he has nothing to do with this. This is so crazy.
He's like, she's done 19 interviews. I'm going to do some more.
Yeah. So what?
I'm going to do some more. You can't stop me from telling my story.
Exactly.
And he lied about, like I was saying, he lied about the nephew. He said that I reached out to his nephew. He said that I reached out to other people in his family, which is not true. And then I gave her the evidence that I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's known. The judge does not understand like his background. So I gave her the background on him. She didn't understand about doxing. She didn't understand about when he passed my address. She didn't understand any of that stuff.
Yeah, did you bring up when he
she was
posted
like, well,
a picture?
How do you know he did it? I'm about to give you the documents to tell you why I know he did it. It was very devil's advocate, I guess, or she was trying to investigate how I knew these things, but I was just telling her the story. It was a mess. I don't know if it's because of his position Like she's thinking.
I don't know. The judge asked what?
I gave her the evidence that I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's known. The judge does not understand like his background. So I gave her the background on him. She didn't understand about doxing. She didn't understand about when he passed my address. She didn't understand any of that stuff.
Yeah, did you bring up when he posted the picture?
How do you know he did it? I'm about to.
So the judge said, how do you know he did it? Because he's done this in videos. He literally gave out her address in a whole damn video. Listen, I'm going to just say this because it's important to understand the judge you're dealing with. Once you get a court date and you see the judge assigned to the case, look that judge up so you can get a feel for that judge. You can understand, how they operate. A lot of judges, a lot of times, you never know who they are and who they know. Maybe she does know Umar. But if it's one of those types of judges where background might not be relevant in the matter, he's going to come in and say whatever, right? Your goal is to not dispute him with whatever he's saying. The goal is, here's my complaint, here's my evidence, right? So I wouldn't waste time trying to combat whatever shit coming out of his mouth, because we all know it's going to be fluff. Y'all know all of that is irrelevant to the matter. He has doxed me. Here's a video link. I can show the court right now evidence, and here's screenshots where he put out my address. He has attacked me, my children. He has sent people after me. It's also in the video, which is timestamped, and I can show you right now if you want to see the evidence. There's a problem with him cyber harassing people, sending out threats to people, having other content creators and individuals tagged into videos while he's live streaming, and then asking people to go after other people, go after his critics, go after people to silence them. Like, I wouldn't even give him the opportunity to be able to respond with no nonsense. And anything he says that's not relevant, I would object to it as irrelevant and remind the court he's just throwing spaghetti at the wall. That's not even a viable excuse. It has nothing to do with the fact that he doxed me. He's put my life in danger. He's put me in a vicarious situation where now I don't feel safe. And he has a history of doing this. And here's other videos where you can see that. There's a pattern of behavior. And because he and I had some sort of whatever they had, entanglement, I've even been to his mother's home and helped him with his mother. That is how close we were at one point where he allowed me to come around his mother. So he's accused me of committing any fraudulent activity with his bank account. Here's the video clip and the timestamp. Like, that's how that should have went. I just would have made sure I got out the core information. Don't give people like Umar, who is a habitual pathological liar, any chance to come with any defense, because it's not going to be relevant. He's just going to say a bunch of things that he has either no evidence to prove or is completely irrelevant to the complaint itself. Because the judge is sitting here saying, how do you know he did it? And anyone that's kept up with this even a little bit knows that he has done this in a video where he doxed her address. Like, I wouldn't even give him the opportunity. It seemed like the judge is like, if you ever feel like, I don't know if this was a JO or one of the presiding judges, sometimes you get what's called a judicial officer. And they're like kind of what you would see a physician's assistant as. A physician assistant still goes to medical school, but they have to operate under the supervision of an actual licensed medical physician. It's the same thing with a judicial assistant or a judicial officer. They operate under a presiding judge. And they just kind of there to help push the cases along and make sure the cases are getting handled within a reasonable time frame. But there's a court rule where you can say, I don't want a judicial officer over my case. I want to file this motion on this court rule. In Georgia, it's 1000.4, where I want the presiding judge to now take over this matter and preside over this matter moving forward. So all hearings, especially the trial or the final hearing, should be heard by the presiding judge, because this judicial officer doesn't understand doxing is a crime. Did not give me the opportunity to present my evidence, denied an ex parte hearing, but did not, give me the opportunity to present the case. And then she's asking, what evidence do you have on this? A video. He told on himself. What are we talking about? Who is this judge?
To give you the documents to tell you why I know he did it. It was very devil's advocate, I guess, or she was trying to investigate how I knew these things, but I was just telling her the story.
Yeah, it was a mess.
It was a mess. I don't know if it's because of his position. Like, she's thinking he's a doctor, so he's, he's under, like, he has, like, I'm just so lost for words. It's almost like she thought that he's a regular acting doctor. He's not a regular acting doctor at all.
Yeah, someone had asked, was the judge a Black woman?
No. And you got to understand, this is Kansas City. So this is not something that they're used to dealing with. Everybody's just like kind of dumbfounded on, not about ex parte, just about the course of how the court went, like how things went. It wasn't normal at all.
Yeah. So Umar spoke today, and you spoke as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I spoke first, and
so his thing. She's the petitioner. She would have spoken first. This is where, and I understand certain matters. People, especially in civil proceedings, you're not guaranteed a judge, only in a criminal matter. So having an attorney is like a luxury, right? But I think an attorney would have been very, beneficial because they understand court rules. They understand, the rules of objections and how to object. And an attorney would have just gotten straight to the point because they probably have a rapport with the judge as well. Seeing, a lot of these attorneys, they have a lot of cases that occur within the same court. So they stand before these judges often. So they understand the judge's, style and how they handle these cases. Let's say the judge did not know who Umar was, right? If she was able to go first, that's the opportunity to say, here's my complaint. Here's my evidence as proof. And here's what could happen if the court does not grant me this motion or does not grant me this request. Now, discovery has to be exchanged by both parties. But if you believe that there is some information that this person could use against you to continue to dox you, to harass you, to defame you, to attack you, that should not be released to the public, then that would be where you can make that argument. An attorney would know how to do that. And of course, nothing that Umar said was relevant to anything. You talking about, she talked to my nephew. She talked to me. Who cares? Who cares? The question should have been, do you have evidence on that? And even if she did, what was the context of the conversation about? I would not have even entertained that. I would have not even tried to even, argue against that because it's irrelevant. You have to sometimes just, when you know who you're dealing with and who you're going to court against, you have to stay in control of that hearing and of what the judge is being told. And anytime you bring forth a complaint, support immediately. Say what evidence you have to support it. I've been doxxed by this individual. He has falsely accused me of tampering with his bank accounts and having committed some sort of fraudulent activity, and that is highly defamatory. And it also introduced me to being cyber harassed and bullied and stalked. Here's the video clip and here's the timestamp if you would like to take a look at the video. That way you can kind of control the evidence, the information that the judge and the other party is able to see by being very specific with it. And it takes away whatever excuse he tries to give. Now the judge is like, you don't have an excuse for doing this. Because what she's done is proven that you've done this while you're sitting here talking about something with your nephew. I don't care about that. I care about you sitting here putting out her address all over social media and doxing her and sending people after her. That's what I care about. And the fact that you do this habitually. So it's an art of being able to keep the case focused on what it should be focused on. Sometimes you can, if you don't go in and you don't know how to kind of present that information, especially if the judge tries to come off, not that they want to be intimidating, but let's say the judge coming off like they're being off-putting, off-standing, or they're off-putting and they're not really trying to, what they don't want is this back and forth for he say, she say. Then it can come off like the judge doesn't want to hear it. What the judge needs to hear is exactly what you need to tell them and support your evidence with that. And that's it. He stalks me. He's harassed me. He's retaliated. Here are the videos. Here are the posts. Here's the evidence to support it. So every complaint, each point she brings up, immediate evidence right behind it. And don't have the judge asking you, what evidence do you have? I have the evidence. It's in a video. Here's the link. This is raw footage. And I have a timestamp if the court is able to look at this right now. I have screenshots. I have a transcript from the video. And I highlighted it so you can see what was said in the video. I would have attached that as an exhibit. Control what you introduce as exhibits to your case. So if you don't want like personal information, I wouldn't have provided, I would have redacted it myself and just go about it doing it that way. Once again, I don't even know what all was disclosed or anything. Oh man. Why am I just not finding out about this?
Then he asked me questions, or she allowed him to ask me questions. And then I didn't get to do that for him. I couldn't I couldn't pick apart his. It was really odd. But I guess the one thing that I'm trying to really hold on to, so I'm not giving out too much information. But the biggest thing that I need everybody to understand is it was not a win. It's not about an ego thing or anything like Gru's ego because I didn't get my ex parte. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that the information, the real thing that came out in court, he hid that. And that is the fact that this is nothing compared to
thank you,
the court cases that are coming.
Okay.
I know I'm going after him for my stuff, but he has other things coming up, and he didn't tell his people about it.
Yeah, and cult leaders never.
Yeah, Shay had given a definition. An ex parte order is a temporary. I'm sorry, an ex parte order is a temporary court issue. Issued by a judge without a formal hearing because one side requested it in the absence of the other. So did you request this in the absence? Umar didn't show up for that when you initially.
He showed up for all of it.
Oh, okay. All right.
For every single one, which is odd in itself. He came every court date. So even when I went in to fill out
but he wouldn't go to court when he tried to sue Lynn and Honor.
No, go ahead.
No, when
Umar tried to sue Lynn and Honor, that's Lynn and Honor's here. In a federal court, he filed a federal lawsuit against Lynn and Honor. The case was dismissed for failure to prosecute, and because Umar didn't want to pay the court fees or even request a waiver, also known as an informal purpose petition, to get the actual court fee waived. So it was dismissed because of that. And even if he had applied for the waiver and got the waiver for the court fees, he still failed to state a claim. So when he's presented with an opportunity to actually try to litigate anything, he doesn't follow through on it. The same thing with Marianne Lorient. He filed a lawsuit against her, a slap suit. And then he turned around and had his slimy greaseball attorneys reach out to Marianne Lorient, who's the defendant in that lawsuit, to try to settle with her. This is how he is. So I'm shocked that he showed up. I really am. Okay, so I got the document here. Shout out to S-Files. Thank you so much. Let me pull this up right quick because I need to read this. Because this is a little baffling to me. So if you guys can see this, this is the actual order. And like I said, court documents are available to the public. It's a matter of how they're using it. You know, maybe she could request that the court for information about the court documents to be posted up with accuracy, because there's this whole, they're using it to mislead the public to believe that this entire case is come to a close, and it hasn't. So, okay. Order judgment for respondent. But they didn't say the actual name of the actual. If it was a motion for an ex parte hearing, then this should have said order regarding motion on ex parte hearing. It would be that specific. So it says in the Circuit Court of Jackson County, Missouri, at Kansas City. I see case number there. Lenae versus Umar. Order judgment for respondent comes now. The court on petitioner's petition for order of protection. The parties appear pro se. So this was for an order of protection. The court, having considered all admissible and credible evidence, finds petitioner has failed to meet the requisite burden of proof for her claims, and that judgment is hereby entered in favor of respondent. Therefore, it is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that judgment is granted in favor of respondent. But that's for this specific petition. If I were her, I'd refile. I mean, and get an attorney, because I'm thinking, and I heard her say ex parte hearing. So I'm thinking this is for a specific request to the court in this case, because she said ex parte hearing. You can file a request for a hearing, and the actual hearing is based on that specific request or that specific motion. So let's say Candace is being sued by the French president. She filed a motion to dismiss and motion to strike the First Amendment complaint. A hearing can be done on that specific motion, but it doesn't mean that, let's say the motion is denied. It doesn't mean that the Macrons won the entire case. It just means that the defendant that filed that motion to dismiss had that motion denied, but the actual proceeding will move forward in the case. Like the case will move forward in the court, and it will go to the next phase. Having a hearing on a specific motion is not the same as the trial hearing. So I don't know. I'm not sure what this was. Was this a full trial? And it don't say that the case was dismissed. It just says order in favor of respondent. I don't even get exactly what this hearing, included, because it's not there. It's not specific in this. Okay, let's get back to the video. Maybe she'll provide more context, because I'm a little bit lost. Yeah, I'm a little bit lost. I haven't seen Leonard Honor content in a long time. Used to watch him all the time. When he lived and the kids were young. Love the Honor family. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's get back to the video, because I'm just trying to get some context on this.
I went in and I filled out for the packet. So I did an interview. They said, go put an ex parte in. Go put a restraining order. I said, okay. I have the packet. I didn't have the devices on me, because one is from my AirPad, but I had my phone. And I told the lady. So she said, okay, we'll set a court date. You could bring that back, show it to the judge. At the court date, I show up. Lo and behold, he's here in Kansas City. He didn't post, he didn't tell us following anything. He just shows up and he's here. We go into court, he contests. I want to contest it. And then turns around and says that I'm doing the same thing to him. I'm harassing him. I do not call Umar. I don't even have people reach out to Umar by proxy. I don't go on his page. I don't need to. Anything that he does, people send me in the DM. So he contested. She doesn't say, well, let me see what your proof is. She just says, okay, we're going to trial. So she knows this is where we're hung up at. She doesn't know what he's done. She just automatically is like, okay, we're going to trial. He could have, I mean, and I'm being fictitious, but he could have like did something crazy. You know what I mean? How do you put the trial out for that many days and you don't know what's going on?
Yeah, did she know about?
But I don't understand. She didn't know anything. She didn't know anything about the case. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know anything.
Yeah, and this is the text message. If you haven't seen this, that Umar sent to her son. It says, "Good evening, sir. Your mother attacked me on YouTube by going on my #1 haters platform and discussing my mother's personal business. My mother is innocent, and your mother had no right to target my disabled mother by conspiring with my haters. I've never had anyone violate my mother in my life. I'm sorry you're in the middle of this, sir." Umar puts him in the middle of this. My family.
Wait, what? Hold on. Your mother attacked me? What? Let me go back because I must have missed who sent this text.
I'm harassing him. I do not call Umar. I don't even have people reach out to Umar by proxy. I don't go on his page.
Okay, and then I would have said, Your Honor, that is false, and he has not presented any evidence on that. So if the court is not going to fairly consider my evidence and exhibits that I actually have to present to the court today, then the court should be asking the defendant to present evidence on how I'm exactly harassing him. And you're talking about a repeated pattern of behavior here. So he would have to have more than just one piece of evidence. Like, I think she needed an attorney to help her express her case to the court. So did they have the trial that same day, or was there a trial hearing scheduled for a different day?
I don't need to. Anything that he does, people send me in the DM. Mm-hmm. So
I wouldn't have even entertained it. I would have made him show evidence.
She doesn't say, well, let me see what your proof is. She just says, okay, we're going to trial. So she knows this is where we're hung up at. She doesn't know what he's done. She just automatically is like, okay, we're going to trial. He could have, I mean, and I'm being fictitious, but he could have like did something crazy. You know what I mean? How do you put the trial out for that many days and you don't know what's going on?
Yeah, did she know about?
But wait, was the trial heard that same day, or is it a separate date? I think she and she keeps saying ex parte. This is for a protection order. This was not on a hearing on the request for an ex parte hearing. So I don't want people to get lost at what she's referred to, because ex parte hearing is not the same as a restraining order itself. It's just a type of hearing that could be conducted for this type of case, for a protection order. So I just keep that in your minds, because I don't want anyone to get confused with the terminology.
She didn't know who he was. She didn't know anything.
Yeah, and this is the text message. If you haven't seen this, that Umar sent to her son. It says, "Good evening, sir. Your mother attacked me on YouTube."
Why is he sending this text message to her child? How old is his son? Why is Umar texting the child? Isn't her child a minor? He sent the message to her son. And is he out of his effing mind? Thank you, S-Files. Yeah, email him to me so I can reach out to Jay Witt. He emailed her son. Are you serious? How old is the son? If he's a minor child, why the hell is he even texting a minor child? So she can send this to take this to court and say, this man is contacting my minor child. Why would he need to contact the child again? Address her in court directly. You don't need to text her child. He's stupid. And he's got these Umar-tardians to think this shit is okay. Man, I'll be so pissed. You don't text my kids. How did he get the son's number? Why does he know the son's phone number? Look out your mouth. I would have had this idiot blocked. He should be blocked.
By going on my #1 haters platform and discussing my mother's personal business. My mother is innocent, and your mother had no right to target my disabled mother by conspiring with my haters. I've never had anyone violate my mother in my life. I'm sorry.
I don't care if Umar wants to abuse the word hate all day. He still won't show proof of life. And you got siblings and other family members that want to see her. So he can kiss my ass with that. He's like a fucking man baby child. My haters, when. If you got an issue with anything, it's called free speech, you moron. And then secondly, people are concerned about what's going on with your mother because no one has seen her. Her own other children are trying to see her. Her grandchildren want to see her. And you are literally harboring her away from the family. You buffoon. Why are you texting a minor child, Umar? You clown.
You're in the middle of this, sir. Umar puts him in the middle of this. My family is very angry. This will be addressed one way or another.
Well, the family is not angry. When the family is going on various YouTube channels, wanting, and the nephew particularly, wanting to see his grandmother. He's out of his damn mind. That's laughable to me. For him to sit here and to text the son, though, he's talking about my family is angry. No, they're not. We're not talking about the same thing. He must be thinking of family as in his cult members. Because he doesn't speak for his other relatives. The sister literally called the police and the the group for disabilities. For senior citizens, elder persons, to go to the home to do a wellness check 3 times in 4 weeks. He posted it up on his Instagram that his sister called the police and the elderly association to do a wellness check 3 separate times in 4 weeks. That is not an indication that the family is angry. They're not angry at Lenae. They're angry at Umar for withholding her, the mother, from them. And they're having to send out the police to do wellness checks. I would not have entertained his buffoonery, and I would have made the judge equally challenge his statements and the allegations. We're not here for that. It's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the nephew. He can sit here and call people haters all day. Has nothing to do with the fact that he's doxing me. He is sending people after me to threaten me in my life. And I have the video footage with timestamps to prove it. Here's a screenshot. Y'all know I do screenshots for a reason. When I put on the closed captions, that's done for a reason. So you can see what the person is saying, and then you can screenshot it. And as opposed to you just presenting the video alone as an exhibit, now you have a screenshot of what is being said in real time. Because this is providing exhibits and evidence. Y'all, here's exhibit A there. I'm wondering, did she even provide exhibits to attach to the petition? I'm so confused at that, man. I'm trying to pull up the case.
Okay, I'm better at this, Lennon, when we do it this way. Free talking is probably not my strength.
You're good. Okay. You're good. So, but the judge didn't know anything about this?
I'm sorry?
The judge didn't know anything about this?
No, she hadn't seen anything. She just said, okay, we're going to set up for trial December the 3rd. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? That's a long time. And I didn't want this to drag out. I wanted to get this step off of my list because I got other things I need to be doing. Mm-hmm. So let's just take this is like that idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. What family are you talking about? This is why we already knew that it had to be this ex parte. I wasn't going to be able to get everything out. She wasn't going to be able to see everything. We already knew we would have to go in for a civil suit. But even with this, when we're in there today, he's continuing on this lie. It doesn't fit. It's weird. And then
the lie is that you're harassing him.
Yeah, I don't call. I just like, do you? She asked me something to the effect like, do you know these women? I'm like, no. And she's like, well, who are the women? I said, there's one sitting right there, Punky Brewster.
Yep. Which one was that?
The what is her name? Malika.
Malika.
The one Diddy's chick. The one on Diddy's.
I don't know who you talking
about. I'm a little lost in this. I'm still stuck on, this text that was sent to her son. And why he felt the need to reach out to her son, like the son is going to do something to his mother. Kara Malagri, I'm gonna email. I'm gonna let her know, girl. You got to get an attorney, because the hearing was done on December 3rd. So when was the ex parte hearing? I missed a step. Yeah, she needs an attorney to come to court with her. You can also request that the court have Umar pay for your attorney. Yeah. Funny how Umar bashes black celebrities left and right, but cries whenever someone criticizes him. Exactly. The haters. We don't agree with you sitting here using money and you can't explain exactly how it's being spent. And then you lie about buying a building when your name's not even on the damn deed. No one needs to lie about that. It's not on the deed. Like, this is insane. She did show it. She showed it to the judge. I don't think. Phoebe says, I don't think it was her minor son. She has two. He was the son who organized initially the event in their area, which is how they met. I mean, he didn't need to email either of the children. He didn't, neither of her children. Umar's a liar, pathological. I think it is her older son he sent the text message to. Yeah, what is he expecting the son to do to his mother? He's not going to do anything to his own mother. If anything, he's probably concerned about what this could bring about now, as far as backlash to his own mother. Why would he text the son like the son's going to do something to her? He's not going to. That was just, it's dumb. Sending the son a text still did nothing. What's the matter with him? This will be addressed one way or another. Sounds like a threat. So that's what he sent to the son. See, this is what I'm saying. Oh boy. Yeah, she needed an attorney for this one. She can still file another protection order. Because that way you can put it together. You can show proof of the threats to your life, your safety, in being in jeopardy, and you can establish a pattern of behavior that he has with doing this to others. This man has sick goony goons after people in live streams, in videos. It's insane. And he's talking about everything but the actual allegation. So was the actual trial heard the same day she filed the petition for the ex parte hearing? It's so crazy. He's always making veiled threats. Exactly. Even Marianne Lawrence said the same thing. He threatened her. And if he doesn't do it, he instructs others to do it. So he's still guilty by this conspiracy. He's the one directing the order. And if you have evidence to prove it, you produce that. Like, that's it. Because otherwise, this judge is like, it sounds kind of, it's a bit frustrating to know that this should have been very straightforward. Even if he went in there and lied, I would not give credence to it. I would object to it. It is irrelevant. I have never harassed him. He should be producing evidence on that. Until then, here's my evidence to show that he has harassed me. He has sent people after me. He's doxed me. He's put out my address, my phone number, like those things. He sent a text message to my son saying this is going to be addressed one way or the other. Here's where you can, here it is. Here's the floodgates. I don't know who these other women are, and I don't care if they're irrelevant. They're not a party to the case. They're not witnesses. I don't care about these other women. I don't know who he's referring to, but I'm concerned more about him sending this text to my son, Your Honor. That's where we are here. And then you show the judge the text. Like, what the hell? Okay, let me just play this out some more.
And I'm like, what the hell? That's a long time. And I didn't want this to drag out. I wanted to get this step off of my list because I got other things I need to be doing. So let's just take.
Exactly, BB. He doesn't even have a good relationship with his own mother.
Like that idea what's going on.
Umar don't even care about what's going on with his own mother. And yet he's sending a text message to Lenae's son. Like that's somehow supposed to cause them to just have a breakup of some sort. You can't make this up. Why is Umar not blocked in the son's phone? His number should be blocked. He shouldn't even be able to send a text. I don't understand this.
Mm-hmm. What family are you talking about?
Exactly.
This is why we already knew that it had to be this ex parte. I wasn't going to be able to get everything out. She wasn't going to be able to see everything. We already knew we would have to go in for a civil suit. But even with this, when we're in there today, he's continuing on this lie. It doesn't fit. It's weird. And then
the lie, the lie is that you're harassing him.
So here's the thing. Okay, my mother is innocent, and your mother had no right to target my disabled mother by conspiring with my haters. First of all, he has to prove that there's some level of conspiracy. And what does that conspiracy even determine? See, he knows nothing about the law. Conspiracy to do what? For the mother to be able to see her other children and grandchildren? That's not a conspiracy. So he doesn't even say what the conspiracy is all about. And then you're just calling people haters. That could be anybody, Your Honor. And what does that mean? Haters based on what? Objection to that. It's irrelevant. He's not telling the truth, and he's not producing any evidence on this so-called conspiracy. So the court should be mandating him to present evidence on some level of a conspiracy for something that has nothing to do with him. If the family wants to see his mother or their mother, he has siblings. Family wants to see their mother, they have the right to do that. That's irrelevant to the matter at hand. Irrelevant. It is irrelevant. It's fucking irrelevant. And if you read the text here, I've never had anyone violate my mother in my life. He can't, but he can't prove that. Well, we have a video where someone came out and did a wellness check, and he told the lady that his mother wasn't at home. But he's supposed to be the primary caretaker here. You have a relative that went on a YouTube channel, did a video about him wanting to see his grandmother, about how his sister was kicked out of the mother's home by Umar himself over a hamburger. Like, there's evidence on that. So what family is he talking about that's angry with him or angry with her because of him? Anybody angry at Lenae? I'm sorry you're in the middle of this. No, you're putting him in this. You sent a text message to her son and you were putting him in this. And what the hell he's supposed to do to his own mother again? What was Umar thinking that what was going to be accomplished from this text? Because I doubt Lenae's son is going to sit here and cut her off because she's trying to protect herself from Umar. He literally lied about her tampering with his bank account with no evidence. I've never had anyone violate. I'm sorry, you're in the middle of this, sir. My family is very angry. Name the relatives. Because so far, there's a sister and a nephew that are angry with Umar for not allowing them to spend time and see their own mother and grandmother. So who are these other relatives? No, Yana, he's going to have to prove that. He's going to have to tell some names. What relatives are angry with me? Because he has family that has not seen his mother, that wants to see his mother. He has siblings that want to see their own mother. He has nephews and nieces that want to see their grandmother. So he needs to produce evidence on that. I don't care. My family is very angry. This will be addressed one way or another. That's a threat. I'm going to take it as that. Because it's not his first time saying that. And because he has a history of sicking his dumbass Ogoonie goons on people, this is perceived to be a threat to me. Based on the history, his pattern of behavior, and the fact that he has doxed me in the past, harassed me in the past on social media, and I have exhibits. This is a threat to me. That's it. You can't make this up. One way or the other. Lenae, refile it and then get an attorney, organize your exhibits, and let your attorney go in and present your case. Because this right here is beyond. None of this was necessary. He did not need to send this text to the son. This is absurd.
Yeah, I don't call. I just like, do you? She asked me something to the effect like, do you know these women? I'm like, no. And she's like, well, who are the women? I said, there's one sitting right there, Punky Brewster.
Yep. Which one was that?
The what is her name? Malika. The one Diddy's chick. The one on Diddy's.
Okay, what is that?
She wasn't gonna be able to see everything. We already knew we would have to go in for a civil suit. But even with this, when we're in there today, he's continuing on this lie. It doesn't fit. It's weird. And then
the lie, the lie is that you're harassing him.
Yeah,
and then she faced out.
I don't call. I just like, do you? She asked me something to the effect like, do you know these women? I'm like, no. And
when did the other women come up? Because that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. These women are not named as co-defendants. They're not. He didn't name any specific person as a witness. Why is the judge asking about these women? Why are they important? They're not important. They're not relevant. Her son is not named as a co-petitioner in this. So why is he texting the son? He's not in the middle of it, Umar. You dumb Oompa Loompa. You sent her son in an inappropriate text message where you're talking about something being addressed one way or the other. She can perceive this to be a threat based on your history and the fact that you've doxed Lenae in the past. And you've sent people after others that were your critics, like anyone owes you anything. He's not God. He's an unemployed mere mortal that don't even want to admit to him passing out, that has not even taken care of his own kids, that treats his own mother like crap, and lies about every wellness check that is done by the police and the elderly association. Why not let your relatives see their mother and grandmother? He's harboring her in the house. Asking for proof of life is not even, it's not unrealistic. It's very reasonable. If you got siblings and relatives that are saying, I want to see my mother and my grandmother, I haven't seen her in months, in years. We can't get her on the phone. He won't let us in. He won't even let the police do a wellness check 3 times in 4 months. What the hell is he hiding? To say we demand proof of life? It's not something that's so unthinkable. You just saying that you've never done anything to violate your mother means nothing. Because there's evidence where you're literally withholding her and harboring her from her other family, from her other children. You put out your niece over a hamburger. So the fact that he can't prove that is enough in and of itself. But this is where, an attorney would have been able to argue with that and object to most of the stuff he was saying because it's irrelevant. None of those other women don't mean shit.
She's like, well, who are the women? I said, there's one sitting right there, Punky Brewster.
Yep. Which
women
one was that?
What?
The what is her name? Malika. The one Diddy's chick. The one on Diddy's.
I don't know who you talking about.
Diddy's band.
This is a mess.
And then he brings up in court. He's like, oh, she thought that I was messing. I'm sleeping. She thinks that I'm sleeping with her. So that's why I don't give a shit who you're sleeping with, sir.
What?
He's
trying to.
What the hell?
Malika is a chick from Making a Band.
Making the Band.
She dresses like Punky. She's like a black Punky Brewster.
She was there?
Yeah, she's his handler. I told you this from the other girl in Ghana. Umar can't do things on his own. He needs somebody there.
Wasn't this
he's
the
an
lady
idiot.
down? She looked like the lady that was down there in
She's the lady that was with the doll.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's his handler now. And he
What in the
rotates
world?
them out. Tiffany was a handler and was a handler.
Yeah.
These people are like his handlers.
Yeah. Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon's is a handler. She looks like a patient lady. She's probably dingy too, but she looks patient. He needs women to help him do things. Like even when we were going into court, he's unsure of things. Like, how do you not know? Just go through the damn door. He's holding up traffic, determining whether she's gonna stay outside or go in the door. Just go through the damn door. She'll walk.
Okay, is this the lady?
You know, and then the sheriff's department is in there. It's a strange situation. Yeah, that's her.
Oh my
And then
God.
he comes around the corner. He's got them so on this. She's obsessed with Umar kid. I'm indifferent about this woman. She comes around the corner like, yep, I'm here with him. And I'm like, bravo, chick. Go have it. Like, I don't give a shit who he's here with. I got another announcement I'm gonna make, but they have their mindset is that I want Umar. I'm bitter because he left. Umar never left me. I cut him off.
That's irrelevant.
I don't care if he knew that he could have it, but it's messing up the flow of the stories. Things are not matching up. There's no way what happened today would have been able to happen if I'm crazy in love with Umar.
It's irrelevant.
That's not what it is. I don't have any.
Okay, now do you all see why I said that the art of objection is important? Because here's just a tidbit as a heads up. When you go to court and you know that the other person is a pathological liar like Umar Johnson, and he will not have any evidence to, defend himself at all, you can anticipate the things that he's going to say. Therefore, you can still maintain how the hearing is being, the direction of it and how it flows. Because if you allow someone that's an inveterate liar to throw out all these defenses and all these stupid ass accusations, guess what ends up happening? You're distracted from the actual point at hand. Now the judge is focused on the nonsense that he's saying because you're entertaining it and you're trying to defend yourself against it, as opposed to why you're there in the first place. If that much conversation occurred, that's time that could have been spent with you giving your exhibits to the judge, showing videos and screenshots and text messages, and putting your case together and making your argument. He's just saying all this dumb shit. I would have been objection. This has nothing to do with any of that. He text messaged my son. He's trying to bring my own son into this. My son is not a party to this case. He's not a witness. None of these women are a witness to the case. I don't know who they are. I don't care, because I'm concerned about him doxing me and putting out my address and my information and then sending people after me. I'm concerned about the harassment. Harassment including the doxing behavior, the bullying, the false accusations against criminal activity. He's accused me of trying to do something fraudulent with his bank account. Here's the clip. Here's the video. Here's the screenshot of him saying that. This is causing me to receive more backlash. The more defamatory statements he makes against me, the more I'm harassed. He has this cult-like following. These people have no evidence on any of this stuff. They believe exactly what he says. And when he directs someone to do something, they do it. That is a problem. Just like how easy it is to have this become the main conversation, that's how easy it is for that to end up happening in court. And the trick is to get the judge to stay focused on the case, because the judge is trying to hear both sides here. But if you start entertaining what the defendant is saying and their nonsense, as opposed to saying, Your Honor, he's just throwing spaghetti at the wall, none of that is true. He has not presented a shred of evidence on it. And I would urge the court to review my evidence, because he has none. He's just throwing out accusations that are baseless. And this is his MO. This is his pattern of behavior. Now you can flip it back on him. You can flip it back on him. But if she refiles and she gets an attorney, the judge will take that a lot more seriously. I just don't understand exactly why the judge is entertaining his nonsense. It's unnecessary, because it should have been just objected to and it should have been shut down. He doesn't have any evidence on this, then it should be irrelevant. And I'm objecting to it as irrelevant. These people are not a party to. I don't know who any of these people are. They're not witnesses. They're not a party to the case. I don't know or care about these other people. I only care about his actions that are causing me, to receive all these, attacks and harassment and being doxxed. This is what's getting out of control. And here's my evidence. How much of this video do you want to see? I have a timestamp. I'm ready to play this video right now. How do you want this to go? It would have been very hard for him to try to defend the actual evidence. But at least she would have been able to stick with her allegations and focus in on that. You're trying to present a case that your life is in danger and that you fear that he's going to do something to you directly, or he's sending someone out to do any physical bodily injury or harm. You're requesting a protection order. All that shit he's talking about is irrelevant. Who cares what his defense is? That's how I would have said it. I'm objecting to it. It's irrelevant. That has no bearing on what I'm requesting and the evidence that I have. That's it. And the judge would say, okay, well, go ahead and, produce your evidence here.
I don't have any feelings for him. Like,
and then I have to know, and I'm just going to say this, I would have to hear how Lenae went into this and presented her case. I mean, because if it's attorneys know how this should flow and they know exactly what to say and how to put it so that the judge can see, okay, you make this allegation and you have this evidence that directly supports the allegation and continue to keep the case on, keep things on track. I would have to hear how she opened this up. She was able to speak first. I would love to hear her opening argument on this and her opening statements to this. Because if it's not organized, if it's choppy, if it's almost as if you're unsure of things and you're just present the evidence, the exhibits you have. If that's not flowing, then the judge could easily be distracted by whatever the defense is, where he's making all these statements and he's just coming back to back with it. And it has nothing to do with the other. And you're trying to defend yourself against his baseless statements. So I would have to hear what she said too to make sense of this, because I'm a little bit thrown off. I'm trying to get a gist of what was said. And because that's missing, it's hard for me to be able to give, some thorough commentary on this. It's kind of like I'm just following along with everyone else. And I'm almost at a loss of words because he's just throwing stuff out there that makes no sense.
Like that. But it helps his story to keep that.
Umar's just saying whatever.
So they keep coming at me like, want him, and I just can't get over the fact that he's gone. We're far down the road. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So people are confused. This is it's a lot. You went to court today, but then you bring up handlers. You bring up Malika. Malika used to be on Making the Bands with Diddy.
I'm sorry.
No, we're trying to put the pieces together. But you're saying
because I'm a terrible storyteller.
No, that's fine. So, but you're saying she was there, and she was also down there when Umar was down at the what is it called?
Nat Turner.
Nat Turner land. And I blurred her video out, but she was there. There, okay. Sharon was there. That showed dolls. It was like a barn type of a situation. So she's all the way down there. People are trying to figure out. Okay, so she was there today in support of Umar in the courtroom.
Yes.
Okay.
So was she there as a witness? Because of course he didn't give a witness list. So he brought a witness to a hearing, and the judge nor the other party was informed that there will be a witness, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let me read some of y'all's comments. Jay Williams said Umar was saying she's a jealous ex. So that's his whole argument to this text he sent to her son. This is going to be handled one way or the other, or him doxing her, or making derogatory statements online in videos. Like, Umar's such a fucking clown. No one's jealous of Umar. He got no job. Umar, you don't have a job, you fat roly-poly. You don't have a job. I honestly don't see how anyone can be jealous of any other woman choosing to be with his ass. He's unemployed. He's a slob. He has nowhere to live. He doesn't have a car. He has nothing to offer. So any woman that's with him would be taking care of him. Who the hell would be jealous of that? No woman in their right frame of mind would be jealous of another woman taking care of a grown-ass man who refuses to work. There's nothing to be jealous of. Your Honor, I'm not jealous of someone that chooses to date this man that's unemployed, who didn't even, raise his own kids. They would be taking care of him like a child. Why would I be jealous of that? It's irrelevant to the actual matter at hand. We're talking about a protection order that I'm seeking from this court. And he's trying to say that I'm a jealous ex with no evidence to show that I've harassed him in any shape, form, or fashion. Period. Umar, you're not that smart. You're just not. You just run your mouth. He's insane. He calls everybody a hater. Your Honor, he calls everybody a hater. He says everybody's jealous of him. So it's irrelevant. Oh, my good Lord. Of course, that's his go-to. Exactly. That's why she brought up the women. Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out how is women coming up. Haters are jealous. Women are jealous. That's what he says. Jealous of what? Exactly. Anybody jealous of somebody else unemployed? These women want to take care of this unemployed, grown-ass, 51-year-old ball of 8 meat. Let them do that. No one is jealous of that. Yeah, I have no jealousy or envy towards a woman that chooses to take care of an unemployed grown man. None. There's nothing to be jealous of. The devil is a liar. Moving on. You can't make this up. Yeah, I mean, it's the worst thing. Yeah, oh, she just jumped. I want his sloppy ass. Like you need a bath. I don't understand what the Diddy thing is. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't watch like cable television like that, so I have no idea who's on making the band or any of that. And the fact that he brought that up, I would have just objected to it as irrelevant. It has nothing to do with anything. That person is irrelevant to the case. They're not a witness. They're not a party to the case. I don't care who they are. They can literally not exist, and it would not change the substance of the case itself. That's it. Yana, that person doesn't even have to be here, and it still will not change my complaint and my exhibits that I have to show this court. They are completely irrelevant to this entire matter. Like, he can say whatever he wants to say, but he needs to explain this evidence. He needs to explain these exhibits here. This is so crazy. Bro has say TV I do. That's the Roku screensaver. I don't care who he is. He's unemployed and jobless. Yeah, the trolls are up in here, y'all. The Umar Tardians. They're here in effect. The Umar Tardians have entered the chat. Give a damn about who he is. He's a nobody. He doesn't work. That's all I need to know. Child, please. Nothing jealous about. There's nothing to hate on. Who hates on an unemployed 51-year-old ball of 8 meat? Calling himself King Kong and Shango Stick and all this crap while he hangs out in Hyde Park with transgender women. Child, boo. Nothing to hate on with that. You can't make this up. You serious? He's a bum. Exactly. Francisca, he's a bum. You don't get jealous of some woman choosing to take on him as a responsibility. He has no substance, nothing to offer anybody.
Because he's not somebody that can do like a standalone person. He needs somebody there with him in case you got to fill out forms or stuff like that. So that's why she came, or she could have been there for moral. They're never there for moral support. But okay, he needed somebody there.
So let me see your transcript. She had said that Lenae sued Umar. She requested an ex parte order, temporary order against Umar to prevent him from doxing her online. But he's already done that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's already doxed.
Yeah.
The reason, oh my gosh, the reason why the ex parte I was sent to do an ex parte is for what is to come. In my eyes, they wanted me to have something on protection on me, and I was okay with
it. Yeah, her phone is acting up again. Hopefully she calls back in. So what she had explained to me was that Umar, he's trying to make it seem like everything is over with. No, this was like just one step in the process. They wanted her to get ex parte, basically restraining order, so Umar would stop doing what he had been doing. He doxed her. He put out a picture. It's called revenge porn. You guys remember that? He put that on his Instagram page. He's had his followers go at Lenae. He does that with everybody though. So what the first step for Lenae was to get a restraining order for that to stop. But Umar's trying to make it seem like that everything is over with. But that's simply not the case.
He has a pattern of this. There's a foundation to this allegation here. He does this all the time. He's even tried to sue Lennon Honor, over copyright strikes because he didn't like what Lennon Honor was saying about him, even though it's called free speech and free press. That's why Umar Tardians don't run my platform. They have no power here. Just like the candy ass cult members. We don't do cult. You can't make this up. So you say something he doesn't like, then he sends out the Ogoonie goons after you to break laws. Fuck out of here. It's a clown.
Lenae, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, so people are just trying to put the pieces together. It's part of the issue is the way Umar is making it seem as if everything is over with, but that's not the case.
No. Umar is in a lot of crap, y'all. He's in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. This ex parte is, think of it like a preliminary, you know. This started a long time ago. I can't really talk about the specifics, but this happened a long time ago. And I've been holding it. Let me tell y'all, I have held this through this man doxing my kids, through all of the things that he said about me. I have held it. I have held it. But he's in a lot of he's in a lot of trouble. My situation is completely separate. So I went, did interviews. Those interviews, you're gonna have to read between the lines. I promise you, I'm not trying to be difficult, but you're gonna have to read between the lines. From those interviews, I had to go and get an ex parte. Now, I did file charges in Kansas City. I filed those charges. That's that's on them to do whatever they're going to do about that. But I'm basically going through step by step, taking care of my situation with him. There are other things outside of me that are going on as well.
Okay, and this is outside of you, meaning other people?
Yeah, we'll say that.
Okay.
We'll say that. So he's in a terrible mess, but his focus is on this small win. He will be fighting the biggest court case of his life after, the two biggest ones, because I plan on bringing everything I got. But before that started, I needed to put an ex parte in case one of his flying monkeys or him decide that they wanted to approach me. Does that make sense now?
Yeah. So now it's clear. So basically, this was the first step, and it was really to make sure for your safety to put in. It's almost like a protection order, so that Umar can't go at you. He can't send his followers at you, like he's done anyway. He's done that in the past. He's done it with everybody that's criticized him or come out to speak out against him. But that wasn't it. It wasn't as if your goal was simply that. But Umar's trying to make it seem like that was your goal, and because it wasn't granted today, that now it's a victory, and that's why he posts on Instagram.
Yeah, no, that's not a victory. And I can guard my own castle, but they wanted me to do things the proper way, and I felt like that was the right thing too.
Okay, yeah.
So that's and I did. Okay. That's what I did. I did everything else that I was supposed to do. I had reports that I was supposed to do that would involve my case. So that's just Siobhan.
Yeah, and
going forward.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, Ortiz.
I do. I have proper legal representation, but the ex parte was not as important as that.
Umar, okay.
Gotcha. And then you were saying move.
Okay, so what it sounds like to me is this. She filed charges with with a criminal court. And if she's filing charges to be heard, those charges are going to be brought forth by a prosecutor. All right. So she filed charges. In the meantime, it seems like she's saying someone advised her, because you filed charges against him in a different venue. And typically when you say charges, you mean criminal charges. You might want to think about giving yourself some level of protection. So perhaps you should do a petition for a protection order and request an ex parte hearing. Okay, because that's one of the types of civil proceedings where a judge could grant you an ex parte hearing for a protection order. You have to prove that there is evidence of a threat or danger to your life, and that someone is threatened to do you physical bodily injury or harm. That's just based on the legal definition of that protection order and one of the requisites that you have to prove. You have to meet that burden for that. I don't know if this is a request just for ex parte hearing or the petition for the protection order in its entirety. Seems like was heard on the same day, and then there was a trial scheduled for December 3rd. The judge stated that there was not sufficient evidence based on this order to grant, and I want to say the protection order itself. So, since this is one of the steps that she was told to do because of the criminal charges she filed, what she filed that would be brought forth from a prosecutor to a criminal court. She's saying this is not the end of what I'm pursuing legally. That's what I'm getting out of this. Because she's referring to the protection order as ex parte, when ex parte is a type of hearing, not necessarily the actual name of the civil proceeding itself. Is for a protection order. An ex parte is a type of hearing that you can be granted for a protection order. So keep that in mind here, because she's saying ex parte, and that's just the type of hearing. But the actual charges she filed, that's still ongoing, and that's ongoing in a court. What was this hearing at for this matter? This was in Jackson. Oh God, this was a circuit court. So when you file charges, criminal matters go to a criminal court, or they're heard by a criminal court judge, rather. That could be heard in another venue. So criminal charges are brought forth to the court by the prosecutor or the DA or, AG, something to that extent. But I'm just trying to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. This does not have any effect. This protection order has no bearing on the actual charges she filed. So she's saying to that extent, this is not the end of everything. This is just one part of it. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to make sense of this. God. Shout out to my mom, LLC in the Insomniac time zone. Oh, child. Thank you for tuning in, RTs. How you doing, honey? Anyone else having audio issues? Can y'all hear? When the video is playing, are you able to hear Tavares? Let me know. The lady he is talking to has crappy connection, but other than that, I'm good. Someone's asking about a bowel movement. That's gross. She sounds like Kiana Belcher. She does remind me of Kiana Belcher. I tried removing my headphones. Audio is fine. Okay. Anyone else having audio issues? Mayan language in the chat. Thank you so much. Yes, you're right. There is case to come. He had no victory. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure. So she has filed charges against him that are still to come, or they're probably already been brought forth to a separate court, to a criminal court judge by a prosecutor, and they were saying, you might want to get a protection order if he has a history of doxing and making threats against people. He sent the text to her son saying this is going to be handled one way or the other. Why are you even texting him? That should have been discussed in detail as to why you felt the need to text her son in the first place. He's not in the middle of that. He's not named as a party to the case. And you sending him a text, all it does is bring him into the case. If nothing else, it pulls the son into the matter, because now you're texting his phone, making these types of threats like this. It's going to be handled one way or the other. That can mean a myriad of things. And based on his history and what he said about her previously, she can easily say, Your Honor, this is just a threat to me. He's not new to this when it comes to him threatening me in my life, or doxing me, or sending out his Oguni goons, his Umar Tardians after me to harass me and bully me online. He's doxing my children And now he's texting my son saying this is going to be addressed one way or the other. You get people that say stuff like that, and then next thing you know, the person that they're directing this towards ends up dead the next day on the news. I have no reason to put that past him to think that this is not a threat, considering his history, not just with me, but with other people. That I really want to hear how she presented this, because it would have definitely, if it would have been, let me go straight for the jugular with this evidence and making sure that I, keep things to the point of what I'm here for. Child, half that stuff he said wouldn't have been able, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to say it with me.
Moving forward, what were you going to say?
It was like they needed to be involved with the ex parte.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was open and shut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't bring representation. He didn't either. It shouldn't have required.
He can't afford it.
But now that it didn't go, then we have one or two ways we could just let it fly. And I did my due diligence. I did what I was told. Or I can go back and I can have the attorney do it and then seal it up.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on, I don't know how, what they want to do. If they want to do it again, fine, do it again. If not, I'm okay. But I just was following directions.
Mm-hmm.
So after he's making out like that's just all it was with me. No, you have a whole civil suit coming.
Mm.
But I did not.
Okay, so there's charges filed. And then there's a lawsuit that I'm assuming, is this a federal lawsuit here? Or is she referring to the complaint? In the federal lawsuit sounds like S charges. Because you can't file charges against someone, right? You can have charges filed and go from there in the criminal court. Maybe she's filing a federal lawsuit.
Talk about that in court because we didn't get that far down the road.
I see. Mm-hmm.
The other thing was Umar was not supposed to know
we don't make things like this.
But the judge would not allow me, and I made the call afterwards, like, hey, I didn't do nothing wrong. I told the lady, take me to the side. You don't want me to put this out in open court, but she insisted. Mm-hmm. So I did, because I can't perjure myself either. So she asked, and I made sure that I cleaned up that mess when I left up out of the court.
So you're talking about today?
Yes. Umar now knows. And he hasn't told anybody what was said. Now, if somebody was in that courtroom, they'll probably put it out online, and then that'll be what it is.
Yeah, you're not allowed to share that?
No, I can't share it. If he talks about it, I'll open all everything. But I've been
wait, what? Hold on. Because depending on what type of case it is, I mean, they're just, it could be available. The court documents could be available to the public. I found the case, by the way. I actually am looking at the case online on the court website. I'm gonna show that in a minute, because I was like, I'm too confused, and as an independent journalist, I have to present some facts, because I don't want to leave you guys confused as to what's happening. Now, I'm not saying she has to share details about this other case that's pending. It sounds like a federal lawsuit maybe has been filed. But if she's saying charges, I typically equate that to criminal charges. But I don't know. I don't know if she's filed a criminal complaint wanting the prosecutor to bring forth charges based on her evidence to the court. I don't know if it's been that route taken, or if she's saying I filed a federal lawsuit and she's seeing the complaint, the statement of claims, as charges itself. I don't know.
Wrong. I told the lady, take me to the side. You don't want me to put this out in open court, but she insisted. Mm-hmm. So I did, because I can't perjure myself either. So she asked, and I made sure that I cleaned up that mess when I left up out of the court.
So you're talking about today?
Yes. Umar now knows, and he hasn't told anybody what was said. Now, if somebody was in that courtroom, they'll probably put it out online, and then that'll be what it is.
Yeah, you're not allowed to share that?
No, I can't share it. If he talks about it, I'll open all everything. But I've been holding on this since July, June.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been holding it. I've been telling people, just wait. And but I left it at that. I let him say all the stuff.
If she can't share something, he can't either.
Wrong. I told the lady, take me to the side. You don't want me to put this out in the open court, but she insisted. Mm-hmm. So I did, because I can't perjure myself either. So she asked, and I made sure that I cleaned up that mess when I left up out of the court.
So you're talking about today?
Yes. Umar now knows. And he hasn't told anybody what was said. Now, if somebody was in that courtroom, they'll probably put it out online, and then that'll be what it is.
Yeah, you're not allowed to share that?
No, I can't share it. If he talks about it, I'll open all.
I wouldn't open it up at all.
Holding on this.
Regardless, I'm gonna tell you right now, Lenae, don't open it up. If he can't talk, if you can't talk about it, he can't talk about it. But simply because he's talking about it, I wouldn't talk about it. I will leave that to him. Then you can take that issue to court and say that he's discussing this open case in court. And of course, he's going to lie about whatever he says. And then all he ends up doing is introducing this back and forth. YouTube is in court. I wouldn't talk about it just because he brings it up. There's a recourse for that. It's called a gag order. Like if it's something that truly should be kept confidential, no. If he talks about it, then you can file a motion to court, for him to be sanctioned and, because he's discussing matters, based on something that should not be discussed regarding a litigation. I still would not respond to it. I would not talk about anything on any social media platform. If you can't talk about it, don't ever talk about it. Just let him catch the fall and catch the heat for that in court.
It's since July, June.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been holding it. I've been telling people, just wait. And but I left it at that. I let him say all the stuff, I let everybody talk all the stuff, but I did not open my mouth lying about that. And in court, that's between the judge and the agency. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I did. I asked her, I said, you want to pull me aside? I showed her on the phone. She asked him, does he have any criminal charges coming from Kansas City? He said, not to his knowledge. He didn't know anything about it. So, okay.
Okay, so it is criminal charges. Okay.
That's between him and Kansas City. But that's not the only thing.
Yeah, so after
he doesn't want his people to know what was divulged today in court. The ex parte, he know that ex parte is small compared to this. That's nothing.
The protection order.
And you can't give us anything on that. I don't.
Umar's in a lot of trouble.
All right.
Umar's in you my dude. Hey, Umar's in a lot of damn trouble. He don't need to be worried about who's jealous of who, Malika. You need to get tight. You need to tighten up, and you need to start doing that donation thing or whatever to get your money up.
Is Malika one of the sisters that he was dating at the same time, was sleeping with? Didn't we just see him in a scary house where, one of these two sisters he was with? I just, this is so weird. Like he's sitting here literally trying to force this judge to think that she's jealous of somebody, of another woman. No, you narcissist. Who cares, Umar? You can't make this up. I thought I had a photo or something somebody sent me. I have to go back. Because I'm just, this Malika person seems completely irrelevant to this.
Because I know my legal team gonna drain you. There was no need for us to go because it was open and shut. It was just taking in the information. If an agency says you need to go put in an ex parte, that means this dude ain't wrapped too tight. Go put in an ex parte. Whatever the judge thought she seen or didn't see, because he's pushing this narrative, oh, she's a jealous ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, no, I don't want him getting in his emotions and being like, oh, this is all your fault coming to Kansas City and my family. No, I didn't do this. You did this. You did this. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff behind him he made. I had to report him, and I can't tell you guys this, I had to report him to my job. I don't know, I said that like 8 times. You can't be out here saying she hacked into my account and think they ain't gonna do nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing right there. That's highly defamatory. If you're falsely accusing someone of committing a crime and you have no evidence, that is the epitome of defamation. He cannot prove that she tried to hack into his account. And especially when his dumb, goofy ass talking about, what is it? Is it based on any fraud on my account, on my part? Who asks questions like that to their bank? Yeah, it could have been just a matter where he just overdrawn or he just spent all the money. The end.
They're going to do something.
Yeah, did the judge know about that? Those allegations that he made?
I told her that too. That was to explain the first email that I showed her. I told her, they gave me a pen and they gave me a sign-on. That's what I have. I showed her the emails, the correspondence. I showed her where I went in to do the interviews. She still just, I don't know why she did that, because the way it was put to me is that's obstruction. So I don't know why she did it. Maybe she didn't understand. I don't know. I don't explain things the best. I don't want to even put out that I do, because this isn't my forte.
Yeah,
but
I understand. Okay. I want to know though, do you think that because Umar, he admit, when you remember, he said he's going to start gloating about it. He's done it on Instagram. He's posted twice about this. Do you think that Umar might use this as a way to? Because I know how Umar is. He's real petty.
Yeah.
He'll say, okay, well, listen, this wasn't granted, so I can go ahead and go back to harassing her again and her family.
I kind of want him to. Let me tell you, the fact that he came out of that courtroom after what that judge said. He came out of the courtroom and the first thing he did was run to the internet after you told this judge that she's going around doing all of these interviews and she's doing this. And I understand the judge's perception of it. It looks all very childish. It's very child play, but it doesn't take.
But I mean, she can do an interview and speak about matters that are of, interest to the public and concerning to the public. And no, it depends on the context. This is why I want to hear exactly how she presented this. I mean, she says she doesn't explain things well. And she's not an attorney. So sometimes it does help when you're able to articulate your case in a certain manner, because you don't want it to turn out to be this he say, she say thing. That's why I would not have responded to this nonsense. I would have objected to it and told the judge, Your Honor, he has no evidence to prove this. None. This is his attempt to throw spaghetti at the wall, and he's trying to distract from the very issue that he has doxed me and harassed me online. He sent text messages to my children. He's trying to bring my kids into this, and they're not a party to this. They have nothing to do with this. This is for my protection. That's it. It's as simple as that. Whether I do an interview or not, I have free speech and expression. That's irrelevant. That has nothing to do with him harassing and bullying me that he's been doing for years before I even did an interview. And what I interview on is focused on me and my concerns, not him. Like that it does matter on how things are phrased too. Man, Lord.
Away from what he's done. He's been doing this since 2019. Right, I gave her everything that she needed to know. And I think that she just had the wrong idea about what's going on here. I'm not coming in here to just have a way to keep meddling. No, I was given a directive. I followed the directive. If you give it or you don't give it, I don't care. But it's not going to stop from what's coming. And I'm a guard in my castle. So this is me attempting to do this the correct way. So it may be that nothing happens. He might just focus on fighting these battles that are coming his way and leave me alone. But if he does come my way, I have already shown that I've exhausted all options with him. I tried to put an ex parte to keep him away from me. Y'all didn't give it to me. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a woman. I don't care who it is.
Protection order.
I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to protect myself. And this is the same thing. When I left out of the courtroom, I made the call. I said I did exactly what I was supposed to do, and this is what happened.
This is what people say.
The thing is that I mean, I've studied Umar for a long time, and this is how he operates. Because I remember when he was in court for pretending to be a licensed psychologist. At the end of that, the way that Umar played that off, it actually, I can tell it fueled him to make him think that he was even more invincible than he actually believed he was in the beginning. And I'm wondering if
you know what, and then as soon as the judge she said something to the effect that, oh, well, that doesn't prove. And I'm like, okay, you know, I got wrapped up in it, more emotional, I guess, because I'm just feeling like I'm in a battle. I'm really indifferent about it, but it's kind of like once you've, you know, set out to do something, you're trying to win it regardless. But he goes and makes a comment, oh, well, if I want to be in Philly and she's doing all of this because I might want to put an ex parte on her in Philly. And I told him I would accept it. I would accept it. There would be I wouldn't contest it because I don't have a problem staying away from you. You have a problem staying away from me, you and your women. So he's playing already, getting hyped up and theatric and spread got his legs.
Okay, so she mentioned the women coming after her as well. I would have named them in the petition. That petition would have been very detailed because it would have. The judge needs to see exactly how all of the pieces are coming into the puzzle here and why you're asking for this, you know, because it's not just him acting alone. He's got all these dingheads that's sitting here, you know, following his every command, even though he can't get them out of trouble if they get in trouble themselves. He wouldn't be able to even get them an attorney. He's not an attorney, so he doesn't know how court works or the law. So he would have these women left out high and dry if they got caught up, which is so stupid. They're willing to risk their liberty and freedom over this idiot.
He's spread all open and doing this bouncing and stuff. Like he's, Judge, could I go and do this? Like, you big, no. Do it. And let me show you how it's done when you really don't want to be bothered with anybody. And she's like, well, I can't tell you. I can't give you that. Okay. But it's just, you see him already. He's getting excited. He's getting worked up. He was very childlike in that moment. This is something about, he thinks that this is a win, but it's not a win. It's not a win, bro. I just told open court, you about to fight the biggest battle of your life. That school is done. It's done.
Oh yeah, he never had that school.
After I drain you in court, and then whatever else comes in, even if I might not even get my chance, Lennon. I might not even get it. They might get on him before I don't know. But even before I get my chance, it's a wrap. It's done. It's done. You're not even.
He had no intentions on opening up the school. Let me reiterate that. His name is not on the deed. There's no evidence that he bought a building. He did buy shit. K-12 did. He's not even a registered agent on the actual LLC. So there's no evidence. He hasn't built anything. There's no receipts or proof of that. And the best way to make your argument, stick to what can be proven in your evidence. What can be documented and proven in evidence. So when I say that he didn't buy a building, it's because there's no evidence to show Umar Johnson, bought a building. He can't even say he represents this LLC. There's no registration information with him listed as the registered agent. None. His name's not on the deed. He's not the owner of the building. He doesn't even have an active permit for any work to be done on the actual buildings, on the bandos. Nothing. He's not opening a school.
Seeing what this means.
You have a website.
You're going to have to get an attorney. You're going to have to get a damn good attorney. And that's going to cost money.
It's going to be court order.
How are you going to finish the school and you tied up in legal?
Yeah, he ain't even been up there since he tried to clean them toilets. It's been about 6 weeks. So he ain't worried about,
And they're thinking that somebody is worried about who he's hunching. I don't give a damn about none of that. I don't think you need to be worried about any of this. It just tells the mentality like it's very childish. He lied. He said that I said something about his dad when I did that. That came from your family. And don't think I'm stupid enough to say something and not have it on text. That's what it is.
Like,
you said that I reached out to your daughter. I all of these text messages.
For him to say that his family is angry and upset, like he's saying that they're upset with Lenae, is laughable. When his own nephew got on social media, did an interview, basically almost pleading with Umar to let him see his grandmother. Umar turns away the police 3 times from doing a wellness check. He lied to a social worker about his mother not being home. And she's bedbound and wheelchair bound. You have neighbors saying they haven't seen her come in and out the house in months. So to demand proof of life is not unreasonable. It is extraordinarily reasonable. It's like 2 steps from accusing him of having done something to her. Child, please. He can kick rock. Umar kick rocks.
Are in my phone. Did you ask your nephew, hey, did she reach out to you first? Or I don't know. I don't even know if they're talking. Umar makes stuff up. And then my sources went cold as far as where his mother is concerned. So I can't protect. We're not going to play that. I didn't tell her that. That's why I got everything done or on, in text form.
Yeah.
I didn't backstab anybody. But I can't sit up here and be the mouth for things and then y'all act like you can't play double agent. You got to stand on it. I kept you out of the public, but now you're going to have to stand on the rest of it. He said that about his daughter. He's like his other daughter. That's on a public domain. When he doxed your wife, he said the picture was from a public domain, so it's not doxing. He got that from me, but I took it down because I'm like, it's still a child, and I don't want to bring her into this. But eventually, I don't even know. I'm trying to, and we already talked about that before. I'm trying to keep from wallowing in the dirt with this fool because he has no problem. He banks on you not going into the dirt. He banks on it.
Yeah, I actually think he enjoys it. Like even him taking the time to go to court when he doesn't have to be there. I think he gets off on it. And I think about the fact that that's all time and money that he could be spending, travel time, travel expenses. He could be spending working on these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware. It just goes to show you where his priorities are. He gets off on all that.
And the first thing the third attorney said, well, it's not without prejudice. I said, well, what does that mean? Well, you can just refile.
You can refile it. So let me show you all the case here. And I'm probably going to make sure that this part of the live stream is put on members only. But this is on the Missouri Court's Judicial Branch of Government website. This is based on the case number that was on that order. You guys can see the court docket, the docket entries here. This goes back to September 16th of 2025. Let me know if y'all can see this. This is as large as I can get it. So there was a petition for a protection order filed, petition relationship to, and it says res boy girlfriend, same gender, LEOR, interim agency, Jackson County, minor child info, child sheet, notice to collect paperwork, order to issue summons. This is on September 16th, September 17th, adult abuse hearing scheduled. Let's see here. Associated entries 10/15/25. A hearing continued rescheduled. Scheduled for October 15/25. Mary Frances Weir was the judge assigned to this case, or at least the JO. I don't know if I haven't looked her up to see if she's a presiding judge or just a judicial officer. And then you have the notice of court hearing set. And then you have the summons that was issued circuit court. And then the document ID number. And since, Umar the Oompa Loompa lives out of state, you have that here. Johnson Umar out of state. September 30th, summons personally served. This was served to Umar Johnson. Service date was done September 29th. 25. They got the time issued there. 20:35. That's like what, 10:35 p.m. And then you have served by the Philadelphia County PASD office. the police department, I think. Public attorney. So this is who did the service. And then there was a motion filed on October 9th from Umar for a virtual hearing. Motion was granted, sustained. So he could have done this virtually. He filed the request for a virtual hearing. Motion was granted October 9th, sustained. Motion granted, sustained. Motion to appear virtually granted. So why did he fly out? This is what he means by wasting money to travel. Why didn't he just get the link and actually appear virtually? That was a waste of money. And guess what? He's spending donor dollars for this. He files a motion requesting for a virtual hearing, and he still flies out to the hearing. That makes no sense. All of this could have been done virtually. So he was granted the motion for the hearing to be done virtually. It was granted. Umar Johnson notified via return email and given WebEx link. October 15th, hearing continued, rescheduled. And then you have some other associated entries here. This is when the hearing would be held on December 3rd. So that's the date she was talking about the hearing being held. And then hearing continued from October 15th. And then, of course, you have here December 3rd, adult hearing held, was scheduled for 11 a.m. Mary Frances Weir was the judge over the matter. Notice of court hearing sent, summons issued. And then here you got the document ID number again. Summons personally served by POU clerk in court. Y'all see that right here? So the first time it was the Philadelphia County PASD office. The second time it was served by POU clerk in court. And then you had the actual hearing that was done December 3rd here at 11 a.m. with the judge, tried by court, civil judgment entered in favor of respondent, order of dismissal, and you don't see anything after that. That's the whole docket here. So there's no other information. Neither party had an attorney, so they were both pro se. No charges or sentences or anything like that. You have service information. So here's the two times he was served by the Philadelphia County PASD and then by the POU clerk in court. And then, of course, this was on October 17th and then November 14th. Y'all can see the dates over here. Due date. So they got him service attempt date 9/29, service attempt date 10/15. There you go. There's no scheduled hearings or trials, civil judgments. There was no judgments ordered on the case. So the judge commissioner assigned was Mary Frances Weir. Kept trying to figure out who's I was like, who's Mary? Okay. There you go. So this is the entire court docket. So he doesn't care, but it's not because it's not his money being spent. Exactly. So I haven't seen Manny today. Yeah, where's Manny at? So this is the court docket information right here, y'all. This is a standalone protection order. It was a petition for a protection order. And then, of course, the protection order itself. Let me pull that back up. It was denied because there was not substantial evidence to support the claim. So as you all can see that here, order/judgment for respondent comes now to the court on petitioner's petition for order of protection. The parties appear pro se. Court having considered all admissible and credible evidence. And I mean, if Lenae is saying she didn't even review the videos to see, where he had made statements, threatening behavior, got the text to son. If she didn't review all of that evidence, then, I'm kind of wondering what was actually was anything admitted prior to that? Because sometimes the judge they won't let you present evidence in a trial if you have not submitted it previously and shared it with the opposing party. So I don't know what happened with all that evidence she has, or whether or not the judge even allowed it to be admitted. Because if she's got video, if she showed at least 2 or 3 videos with timestamps, those videos should have been seen and heard in court. So I don't know what happened with that. And it says here, finds petitioner has failed to meet the requisite burden of proof for her claims, and the judgment is hereby entered in favor of the respondent. She can refile, and y'all see the judge's signature, Mary Weir. Therefore, it's ordered, adjudged, and decreed that judgment is granted in favor of the respondent. She can refile. So it's not dismissed with prejudice. And if I were her, I would refile it, because your attorney would be able, and get an attorney. The attorney would be able to go to the court to say, this is why. There could be a court rule, some case law cited, to show that this is typically standard when you're talking about criminal charges coming forth. No different than, and I'm going to use the example of Charlie Kirk. So, of course, when the shooter in the Charlie Kirk case was caught, and he was charged, not sentenced. He hasn't been sentenced yet. When he was charged, the judge entered a protection order for the wife and the children. Reason being is because, let's say someone acted and participated in that, or the defendant was released, on some sort of bail, even though he wasn't, but let's say he was. Now you want a protection order in place in case he tries to go and do something to the wife and children. So oftentimes, a protection order can work hand in hand with certain criminal charges. And depending on the heinous nature of the charges, the judge will issue a protection order. So in this case, she did it in a separate matter, in where she filed the protection order petition, and it went to the circuit court. But she can also ask for some sort of protection order once charges are presented to the court from the prosecutor. And she can always just, refile and get an attorney, even if she wanted to go back through this route with the circuit court. So if I were her, Lenae, I would get an attorney, either have the criminal court judge file a motion with that matter to give you some level of protection, and just, provide your evidence to show there's a history of the doxing, the harassment, that you're in fear of your life. He said this text to me is a threat. It's a threat. He has threatened others in the past. He sent people out to people's homes. With the motive and intent for them to do some harm to this individual. You had another content creator saying that he was willing to essay a woman on behalf of Umar Johnson. And that is in another court document. So that could be used as an exhibit to help justify why this protection order needs to be put in place. So she can have her attorney or the prosecutor seek for that in the criminal matter, or she can go back through this again and refile and just get an attorney. That's what I would do. So I just, it sucks that she has to go through all of this. And then you got Umar's old stupid ass sending text messages like that to the son. Why are you involving her kids? Okay, so crazy. So no, I would have that done again, because his Oguni Goons and the Umar Tardians, they can't help themselves. They have a history of doing this. They go after people because someone said something Umar didn't like. They act as if they get to dictate free speech. No, they don't. They just don't. And then they're willing to put themselves out there and risk being brought into it and being named, being sued, having charges filed against them. Because they're too stupid to realize none of this is worth protecting and defending Umar when his jobless ass will not be able to get them out of trouble. None of it. He doesn't care. It's not his money. Exactly. He flew out when he was granted the petition, the motion he filed for a virtual hearing. He still flew out there. That could have been done virtually. You can't make this up. As far as it's over, so it's over and nothing really happened. For that protection order, it seems like this was the petition for the protection order. She's saying that there's criminal charges that was filed. And it seems like maybe a civil suit. She said a civil matter, a civil suit, a civil case. So if she files a lawsuit against him, it needs to be a federal lawsuit. Because I would just, I would just file a federal lawsuit. Especially if he's sending other people out to aid in this criminal behavior with the cyber the harassment, the stalking, the bullying, the doxing. Yeah, no. You want to see him set up like an organization's doing this, and they called themselves some sort of organization, then it should be heard as that in court. It would be similar to like a RICO. A whole conspiracy where you got a bunch of Umar Tardians out here doing all this nonsense. And then they want to run for the hills and get mad when you sue them. Child, please own up to it at the very least. Don't be cowards about it. You might grow up. Kiss my ass. He's so ridiculous. Hey, family. What's going on, Uncle Mo TV? How you doing? Shout out to you. I appreciate you for tuning in. Can I get one of the monster drop Uncle Mo TV's YouTube channel link in the chat? Were you in the chat earlier under a different channel name? Let me know. Because I want to make sure, we recognize you when we drop your link to your YouTube channels. But shout out to Uncle Mo TV. So let's see. Tavares said, yep, Umar sent his goons to go after Lenae's kids. Exactly. They dox kids. They don't care. They don't care. If you have a grown adult that makes a comment about being willing to essay a woman on behalf of Umar, because she criticized him, because he's subjected to that as a public figure, and it's called free speech and expression, and if Umar doesn't like it, he can take his unemployed dumbass out of our country. He bends and manipulates the law when it's convenient for him. But he thinks that free speech only works one way. That's not how that works. And defamation is not protected free speech. It is not protected under the First Amendment. You cannot make provable false statements against someone with no evidence and claim that they have tried to hack into your bank account. You're accusing them of a crime? Get the fuck out of here. You know, man, this is so crazy. Yeah, awful. Oh, we got an Umar Tardian. Let's see. These people are insane. They are. They're insane over someone that can't help them. Real men don't do that. Exactly. Oh my God, you can't make this up. And then yes, Tim Pool's caught it from a candy ass cult member. Oh my God, we got to talk about that tomorrow. You can't make this up. What's going on, Uncle Mo? I don't understand cult members. I just don't. This hive mentality. Umar Tardians are no different than the candy ass cult members. It's like a hive mentality cult mindset. And they follow this stupid cult leader who don't even pay their bills, who would never be able to get them any legal representation if they got hemmed up. Can you imagine him sicking his Oguni goons out on someone and then they show up at someone's house? And like I said, the police show up and that person gets shot. Now he's got an Oguni goon that's been shot because they should have never showed up at somebody's house to begin with. And to do what? What purpose would you have to go to someone's home other than to try to do them harm? And then that person defends themselves in their home, in their territory, and they shoot the idiot. Then what? You think Umar gonna pay for their medical bills? Hell no. And if they don't die, then they're gonna end up being charged and go to jail. You think Umar will sit here and send them an attorney? They'll get a court-appointed attorney. But then the first thing they're gonna say is, well, Umar told me to do it. So it still comes back to him. He's an idiot. He's a complete imbecile. Those people be willing to give him up if it means them avoiding jail, because they're cowards. They're not going to go to jail. These people will risk their life for freedom for someone they don't even know. Exactly. That won't pay their bills. You can't make this up. BB said he also posted revenge type material. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to go over to Candace Owens because someone's got been targeted with that. Tim Pool. You can't make this up because he spoke his mind. Oh my good Lord. So this is where I'm going to end it. And I just, like I said, I got the case docket information here. Y'all see the order. And here's the case information here for those who haven't seen it. Based on the case number here. Like I said, this information is available to the public, but I don't have a reason to lie about what can be read by the public. So he's posted up something and he's saying things along the lines that's not reflected in this court docket activity. And he's lying about what's going on with this case. I mean, that can be addressed. There's no reason to lie about it. People can just look it up and read it for themselves. So if this is strictly for the protection order, there's a whole nother criminal matter. It sounds like a lawsuit. Perhaps I saw a civil suit. So I'm assuming there's a lawsuit filed. And it sounds like she said she filed a complaint for criminal charges. And she mentioned the criminal matter. So he's got at least 2 other cases coming his way. This is just, like I said, when there are criminal charges based on the crime itself, sometimes it's almost standard to request a protection order because you don't want that person to go after them, especially when you're vindictive or retaliatory like Umar is. He doesn't know how to just say, you know what, I'm going to just leave it alone. Oh, no, she's jealous of me and all this. She's not jealous of you, unemployed bastard. Then about trying to see him be with somebody that has nothing to offer somebody. Who the hell would be jealous of that? If these women want to see him and just take care of him, that's on them and their wallets. That's nothing to be jealous of. A sane, reasonable individual would not even want that burden anyway. Why can't he go get a job again? Why is it too hard for him to fill out a resume and a job application and get a damn job? He got the Umar Tardians funding his lifestyle. So you guys see the case docket here, the court information. This was for a protection order. And it's my understanding that I guess she requested an ex parte hearing so that he didn't see certain sensitive exhibits and information that she wanted to show the judge. Perhaps, a request for an on-camera view would have been best, but it just depends on what phase this was in. So instead of her getting an ex parte hearing, the judge went straight from, the initial hearing being scheduled or continued rather to an actual trial. And the trial that was held on December 3rd. So I'm just kind of like, if there's a criminal matter going on, I would ask the criminal court judge to, I would just motion that judge to do a protection order. And that you tried to go through, the channels of getting it done as a separate petition with the circuit court. And they didn't review certain evidence or something to that extent. Maybe she can get the court transcript. She said that she requested one, but no court or a court transcriber was there, a court reporter. So if they didn't have a court reporter, why wouldn't, if she wanted a court reporter, in a civil matter, you have to pay for that. It's not automatically given in a civil proceeding. But if she was willing to pay for a court reporter, I don't understand why they weren't there. So I don't know what happened with that. But she said that she did request a court reporter. That way you can have a transcript of what was said. So, yeah, this is the case right here. Here's the information. And I'm assuming that this order that we just reviewed was also including a dismissal. But if it didn't specify with or without prejudice either, so either she can get clarification from the court for the judge to clarify that order and to be more specific with what's dismissed and what's not, or what has been, entered in the favor of the defendant and what hasn't. That would be best, because you don't want to leave it to where it's ambiguous and confusing. Even Lennon was like, I'm confused. I was confused too. And I'm like, I just hope whatever's going to happen criminally with the criminal matter and the criminal charges, it needs to go ahead and proceed forward, and they need to protect her, because in that matter, she probably would be listed as a victim, and she should be able to get a protection order from the criminal court judge, seeing that she couldn't get it from this so-called whoever this judge is. It sounded like she was a judicial officer, and she worked under a presiding judge. Let me look her up right quick. Her name is Mary Frances Weir. So let me see, Judge Mary, because I'm just curious to see if she's like a judicial officer or an actual presiding judge. Yeah, she's an associate judge. Here you go. Division 31 Judge Mary F. Weir. She's an associate circuit judge. So that means that she still would have to operate under the supervision of a presiding judge. And there is a court rule that can be filed in the event that Lenae Stacks wants to refile a petition where she requests for the presiding judge and not for a judicial officer or an assistant circuit judge or assistant judge. Assistant judges are like physician's assistants. They still got to go to law school. They're still considered judges, but they operating under a presiding judge, if that makes sense. So there's a court rule where you can say, I don't want any associate judges over this matter. I want the presiding judge to preside over this matter, especially the trial hearing. Because at the very least, you can say, hey, she didn't review all the exhibits. I had, video evidence. I had text messages. I've had other exhibits and documentation in writing. She didn't review any of that. So I would do that. And then, you have to submit exhibits within a certain time frame before trial hearing so that the other party can receive it. So that's one less thing you want the defendant to be able to say. Your Honor, I haven't seen this exhibit. What's going on? I didn't know there was an exhibit list. So there's a form if you're pro se for exhibit list. You all see that here. So whatever you want the court to see as far as your exhibits that directly support your claim, you want to have this submitted in before the trial hearing. That way he can't whine and cry about it. Just a little education for those that do have to go into something pro se. There are certain court rules that you just have to follow, or else you can risk the judge not allowing that exhibit to be used in the case. Because, the other party wants to see the exhibit. So you have the ball in your court as far as what you want to have introduced as evidence into the matter. And if it's something where it's like personal information on it, I would have it redacted. Or try to find something else that would not reveal direct personal information about me that I don't want to be made available to the court, because then that can be made available to the public as well. So either it should be redacted, or I would just ensure whatever exhibits you have, it does not give out any other additional personal identifiable information for your safety and security and protection. And, go from there. So yeah, this is an associate judge. And she could, file a court rule to say, it's a court rule. I don't want this I don't want any associate judge assigned to my case. I want a presiding judge. That's it. They have to follow it. It's a court rule. It's just bottom line. So I just want to see what type of judge she was, and there you go. You can't make this stuff up. This is crazy. Oh man. All right, y'all. That's all we got. April Chapman went in on Candace hard tonight. She's had it. Oh yeah, I think we've all pretty much had it with Candace. I'm going in on Candace tomorrow, y'all. And we're gonna check out Umar's video he did on Thanksgiving Day, where he went back into his mama's closet and he, did another so-called fake psych counseling session. And it's like, why are you doing this? The board of psychology would not be happy about that. But yet and still, he keeps breaking laws, and he gets mad when people report his ass. But he won't stop breaking the law. Go to work. Get a job, Umar. Go get you a damn job. You're not opening up a school. You're done with that. You got a lot of heat coming your way for that. Oh, child, please. And Lenae, refile, get an attorney, and have your attorney file a motion on the court rule to ensure that your case is assigned to a presiding judge and not an associate judge. That way your attorney can make sure all your exhibits are, presented, and your attorney would know how to redact. Your attorney would know how to present your case so that you can get some level of protection. Because the Umar Tardians are not going to stop, and they don't care about doing something on behalf of somebody that's broke as hell and can't pay their bills. They don't care. They're brainwashed cult members. So we're going to be at it tomorrow. I appreciate all of you all for tuning in. Thank you all so much. Make sure you hit the like button. The Umar Tardians can still kiss my ass, and so can Umar. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.